done here.
Yeah. Or we're just gonna go ahead and just get started.
Yeah,
Cool.
I sent her the recap and everything, so in theory it shouldn't take her too long to jump back into the swing of things. Let me go ahead and test my audio, and then we should be good. How's everybody's weekend?
It was nice.
Okay,
I
another
didn't
day
do
off.
shit.
Played a lot of Fallout.
There you go.
What?
I'm still tired.
Yeah.
It was a very
Hello?
active weekend.
Okay, before the endless loop occurs. Alright, everybody, welcome to Don't Trust Me, episode 50.
It's crazy.
My name is Sodriago-kun, but you all know me as Moe-Moe-kun.
We do?
Previously on Don't Trust Me, falling downward into the abyss that is the underbelly of Bride's Peak, the party delves into a facility that wraps the expanse of the catacombs, with vitrified machines littering the streets below, or stone-turned people for some. They follow the only light source along the underground highway, hiding from crawling baddies that skitter along the ceiling, reaching a pillar-like structure with material walls resembling that of the Gauntlet and the Man of Error's subsection. The group enters to explore the abandoned monument. They check the varying floors, one of which contains a series of 8 movable levers that only move for a small few, those overexposed to the voice's influence. On the top floor, they see a control room with a plethora of frozen figures reaching for a switch on the room's north surface. The group gathers in position and flips the switch, seemingly activating the robots/people around them, who immediately jump to defend the control room. After the large group is dispatched, the noise from outside the tower begins to amplify as the denizens of the underground facility spring to life to resume their activities. Investigation of this phenomenon is cut short as reinforcements from below storm the tower and confront the party. It was where we were leaving off, essentially, that you began hearing noise coming from the shaft that you guys had entered from before, in which this case now you hear the shaft, which was originally at the bottom of it, once again restored now that there seems to be some form of electricity powering this small little man-made section here and forcing whoever's coming up to come greet you at the door. What is everybody doing at this time?
Pissing my pants.
You peeing?
I'm so scared.
So we've taken everyone out up here, right?
Hmm?
We've taken everyone out.
Like in our
that's up
general
here.
vicinity.
Yes, everybody has either been, for some people, like deactivated, for others completely like mulched and pulverized to oblivion, which is a strange like line to follow, but it's nonetheless a thing. Give me a second. I'm adjusting a little bit before. All right.
Oh, you took off the things.
Yeah, so it's not as filtered.
Yeah, it's a little brighter.
Spooky.
Mistress will glare menacingly in the direction of the shaft.
Yeah, Maud in his kind of like golem homunculus form will just like approach the shaft and just kind of like stand guard at the edge of it.
Can we stop saying shaft?
No,
I think we should say
in
it
fact,
more.
I'm going to say it more now.
Hasso strokes the entrance of the shaft.
Damn it.
Mistress will cast grease.
Oh no!
Maud just grunts approvingly of all this.
As as you said, you're still currently chaotic polymorphed into this
Like a golem, basically.
golem, or essentially one of these robotic creatures that's in here at this time.
Oh, so I look like I am.
No, you don't look like them at all. You
Oh,
just, but you kind of represent more of a machine figure. You do
Okay.
not represent the type of technology that's rolling in here.
Yeah. Okay.
As this happens, the shaft fully reaches the top floor, and at this point, the door opens up, and a series of 8 further machines holding these blaster/combined sword-like weapons with one end kind of switches around and has this bladed apparatus at the end where the triggers on the other side would be in this large laser blaster forward here. They march forward here in kind of a unison form here as this happens, like they're trained and they're following a regiment. And for many of you all noticed that these were the statued figures that were standing right outside, ready to head into the tower right as you guys were coming in. One of which was a much, much larger, tankier figure that is at least 2 leagues built bigger than the other ones. Oh, for most people. For the people that are more exposed in this group, this is just simply a much more billowing, obese man that comes in through with this powdered suit of red and white. That comes in here. In fact, for the people that are exposed to it, all of them are wearing these very neat, ornate, slightly dirty from the amount of time that they've been frozen, powdered kind of army uniforms. Everyone else is simply wearing ripped up, dried and ripped up and kind of oil-soaked rags, just kind of tattering their bodies where it should be. These figures march forward here as the billowing figure follows them out of the shaft at the very end and starts marching forward. "Turn hot, everyone! The intruders stand your ground, or we will open fire at once. We demand that you put all of your assault weaponry onto the floor at once and back away from any control mechanism that you will be so pursuing in this situation."
Indy does that.
Am I even holding any weapons? Hang on. I think I just. I think
I was
I-
straight up dead. Maybe I wasn't holding anything.
You're not looking too great.
I'm weak.
Gloria's essentially here holding you up. It's whoa, 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 whoa.
Mistress will discreetly slip her wand up her sleeve.
Glorious. It's the most awkward thing. He puts down the invisible pillow that he was holding, which is essentially nothing. He's just and that's it. And as the figures, he's putting down this giant pillar. The majority of the guards are pointing their guns at him as he does it. And he puts it down. You see a look of relief pass over them, and the creaks of and they point back to everyone else again, like he was holding something big.
From this, I legitimately can't tell if I'm it says I'm holding a weapon, but it doesn't describe the weapon. So I guess I will, whatever weapon this is, I'll assume a club or something. I'll see Glorious doing this, and I'll follow his lead. Just kind of mimicking, unsure, but I guess I'll do this.
As you try to put it down, as this item being a part of your polymorph doesn't release from your hands. You there! What model are you? Well, don't speak up at once! Your superior officer is speaking to you. You there? Werthers, check his ID. The figure over on the left rushes up behind you and pulls your arms up and looks into your armpit and "Oh, sir, this doesn't appear to be one of the types that we resemble. You must be above another maker from another facility." Well, I don't believe the lanterns told us we were having visitors from the others. No matter, everyone else, you are being tried for the tampering of the Royal Island Battalion equipment. The 14th Royal Island Battalion will not stand for such treason. As the murder of our men stands around us, I hereby place all of you under arrest and to be tried once we come in contact with our superiors. That is all.
Officer, who are your superiors?
We speak for those who have built the facility and who have put us back online.
And who might that be?
It's at this moment the figure that's standing here. Holy shit. I'm the worst human being. I don't have my dice. Give me 1 second.
Oh no!
That was the last anybody ever saw of Andrew.
Aren't we technically the ones that brought them back
That was a good
online?
one.
Because we flew
Yeah,
the switch.
that's what I would think so.
Maybe if we point that out to
Yeah.
Can I have a Coke?
Hot. Yeah, sure.
I'm so confused.
I'll just be sipping on my soda.
I drank mine too fast.
You're having so much caffeine.
It's at this moment like the figure finally kind of makes eye contact towards you at this moment here instead of just kind of addressing this situation. He's like, "Gadzooks! Well, you don't appear to be robots."
Wait, we're not? What?
Zoinks!
Men, lower your weapons. The figure walks up to you and at this point sheaths this big kind of cannon-esque weapon over his back here, and he marches very politely and properly. What for you is just this hulking machine here, and you hear this as it comes towards you here. Its body not designed to be assimilating this proper posture and whatnot, but it's whatever mindset it has is forcing it to do so, and it comes up to you and it brings out this big kind of like treasure planet cyborg hand towards you here. It's like, are you the leader of this battalion?
Yes.
Etheridge Syracuse. Chief Commander Etheridge Syracuse at your service. I assume you're here along with the other lanterns to take over for their follies.
Yes, of course.
Make a deception check.
Mod hears lanterns and is upset.
Okay,
But cannot
Meta,
say.
did I forget something as to why you're just grunting?
I had a gummy bear.
Oh, that's right.
And
Okay.
he turned into like a golem.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh yeah, his character didn't have any speech ability.
Yeah.
That's
So
right. Okay. What?
Ah. 4.
I love that.
As you speak through clearly and whatnot here, and the figure here as it reaches out here, and you are you trying to requite the gesture at this point? Or
No.
are you-
Hands behind, like, looking, I presume, slightly down.
Because you're fucking tall.
As he looks at you once again, it's like, or as he holds his hand out and is holding his hand up at this moment here, breaks eye contact from you and looks down at his hand, which is severely rusted over and covered in this fine dust. By God. You guys really did turn us off, did you? As this cloud of dust is being pushed off of this rag that he's wearing here. Men, scan them for tags. If they're in the database, they'll follow along with the other lanterns that are in the base. Check their coats at once. Once they're confirmed, we can go from there. And at this point, one of each of the figures comes up to every single one of the people here. They stand you up right here, and they take this device that's attached to their hip here, and they scan it to the back of your necks at this point. And as many of them here are scanning and checking for some sort of connection at this point, the majority of them are scanning and scanning, but they're not getting any read on it. Like, it's not finding anything to connect to. It's like, oh, sir, we're not getting any readings over here. It's not quite.
I'm curious if Mistress would know off the top of her head if there was an organization or the Legion itself used tags like that might have been scanned in the past.
Make a history check.
Well, that's a 14. Thank goodness I have a +7.
14. The Legion does not use like, what is it called? Like implants or whatnot to identify or whatnot. And this seems to be the series of identification they're going for, or something, some type of mark that they'd be able to resonate with, and would kind of constitute their ability to tell you that they are that you are their superiors, and they are not to molest you to that extent. And they're not finding anything until just out of nowhere you hear a beep come from one of the people in the party. You hear a boop. Ember. Here's beeps.
You son of a bitch.
Straight panic comes over Ember's face.
Ember, what the fuck?
Ember.
You're a robot.
So one of them are among us. I feel like these are a part of the main Lantern Regiment. We might want to go ahead and cease our investigation of this immediately. And then he takes the gun away from you and walks towards Ember. I don't seem to recognize you. Who is your immediate superior?
General Fano.
You see for a second here his eyes kind of The name doesn't match anything in our databanks. I'm referring to your Lantern Superior, here in this facility. Say Amber. Amber might be the right answer. Are you saying that out loud?
He's just like whispering as quiet as he can.
Make a stealth check.
Oh god.
It's me.
And I think the name you're going for is Amba.
Amba.
Oh.
7.
Great.
That checks out.
Who? Okay.
His head. At this
What?
point.
Who's Amba again?
It's one of the
From
names
what you
right
guys have been encountering throughout this series of events here,
One of the
Amba is
bugs
the name
in
of
the
one of
picture.
the lights that has been mentioned in different paperwork here. One of the essential leaders of the Grey Coats, or people organizing it. The figure, Chief Officer Etheridge Syracuse, at this point, looks over at you. And looks down at this tiny little gnome. What did you say, little man?
I was just reminding her sometimes she has a bad memory. We report to Amba.
Make a deception check with advantage.
He's gonna argue it if he
Glad you remembered that.
Roll.
No.
Roll.
Oh, it was on 17 and just popped over to 10.
Oh.
Did you roll twice?
Still 13.
13. Amba, you say?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Amba left back for the Mallet continent many a week ago. We weren't expecting him until the operation was to play out.
Well, that's why we're here. See, he sent us here to make sure everything was still as he left it.
All I can tell you right now is that from the look of my men and the look of myself, I've had a memory gap of God knows how many weeks. So somebody in this room turned us off.
Well, I think that's where the confusion is. We actually just turned you on.
Really?
Yeah.
Make a persuasion check.
You're welcome.
15.
15?
Yeah.
His joints kind of pivot outward, and he kind of lowers down at your level here, and you see the LEDs of his eyes kind of narrow inwards, like Spider-Man in the Civil War, just kind of doing the squint thing as he lands. And he stares down at you. Sorry, give me a moment. My shit just went haywire. If you turn us back on, then why are my men dead?
Well, the minute we turned you on, they started attacking us. We did it purely out of self-defense. If you were up here, you would have heard us trying to foster communication and tell them that we were with the Lanterns and that Amba sent us, but they wouldn't hear anything from us.
Well, what happens to this brigade is none of my business. We were simply here on a recon mission when the sirens went off. Checking in, we knew that there was a branch of individuals here in this facility trying to deactivate the leagues. And from the looks of it, it looks like they were successful. And since it's been weeks, it only makes sense that it wasn't you all. Nonetheless, none of you are ID'd. Except for one of you, and your information does not add up. Is better?
So, would Mistress remember how long this town has been deserted? Like this little
I
patch
think
of
we did some
Oklahoma?
checks of this earlier. This town has been a relic for centuries, like throughout the entirety of the Sojourner Age. This
Okay.
is, nothing has been, like, people don't come here, there's monsters everywhere. This town has been out for multiple lifetimes.
Okay. But like, is there a recorded history like that? I can't remember the name. Something Oklahoma.
Bradespeak?
Yeah, Bradespeak.
Yeah.
Like, is there a date that Mistress might be able to recall of like when it stopped being inhabited? Like, is it specifically something that would have been in
Yeah.
a history book?
Here,
Like-
this would have been at around the end of the Hallowed Age, or kind of about a fourth way through the Vacant Age, which would, in your terms, about be. I'm gonna throw a number out here and write it down as I do as well, just so I can reference it again. 2120. Would be around the year that the incident that caused this town to be deserted, known as the Alcove, that incident occurred, causing this town to be destroyed and there to be no more denizens of it.
And what is the current year?
That's an amazing question, because this is... Oh, Kayla's here. Kayla, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey.
I didn't even hear you join.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
No, what'd you say?
Shut up, Dante.
Okay, I'm headed home.
Yay.
I also won't be able to roll, so if I need to do that at any point, if someone will roll for me, that'd be cool.
I'll do it
Except
for
for
you.
not Dante.
Yeah,
I'll
Not
do it.
Dante.
Don't worry.
I got you, Kayla.
No, she hasn't been rolling great either.
That was weird.
Don't worry. I will definitely roll for you, and it won't be Dante.
Okay.
It's like narrowing it down in the time that the Vacant Age would have...
Yeah. Actually, I'll just roll. Don't feel like it's suspicious if I get a lot of nat 20.
Okay.
Perfect. Please
Okay.
don't roll and drive.
As this conversation is had, you hear another round of people coming up from the what's it called, the elevator shaft. Like another set of people are coming up through it this time.
Yeah.
You know it's the year 2540 right now.
2540.
Yes.
Okay, so Mistress is going to pipe up and say, I do believe I have a rough
Scale it
estimate
down.
for how long you've been deactivated, or asleep, or
No, that's the same
in stasis.
2540. Well, essentially, it was when we were deactivated.
You were deactivated in 2540.
Yes.
Oh.
Interesting. When did you first arrive here?
We've been running for many, well... It's at this point the overeager chief commander here begins to get ahead of himself and start explaining a situation to people he is not fully convinced he's authorized to talk to about this. He's like, this sounds a lot like questions that I should be offering to my superiors, and not people in here outside of their designation.
I'm simply trying to clear up a misunderstanding. We seem to have a different understanding of our situation than you do, and I would like to get us both on the same page.
We've been running this facility with the lanterns for the last 3 months,
I see.
but I am not aware of how much time has passed since our deactivation. Honestly, it feels like a mere second has passed. We were storming the building, and now we're covered in dust. But nonetheless,
Fascinating.
we find ourselves in a bit of a pickle. Us letting a bunch of vagrants wander around the facility so close to such a powerful artifact is really not going to fly by us. And so, sadly, without a designation of the one known lantern in the group, and no commanding lanterns in the vicinity, you will have to understand we might have to take a bit of a brass case of actions here.
Hostel runs to the door and casts Arcane Lock on the elevator door. And designates us as can open it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you run up and you just run up as this is all happening?
Yeah.
Okay. As you cast the lock there, you hear the shaft hit the door, and you hear.
I turn to the captain.
Officer Case, the door won't open for us. It's not opening.
I turn to the captain and I say, "Alright, listen up. Do you see all these robots laying here? We took care of them. How about we start talking about negotiations instead of you telling us what's going to happen? How about we tell you what's going to happen next?"
Oh.
Make an intimidation check.
I'm not trapped in here with you.
You're
trapped
in here with me. Thanks, Rorschach.
God damn it. Wow. That's dramatic. It's only a 6.
Can Maud make some intimidating grunts to assist?
You can try.
Brandish the weapon at this fucker.
Just at this point, you see the LEDs on all 9 of the soldiers' faces at this point switch from this kind of faded yellow to red. Our original plan was to detain you until we found further answers from our higher-ups. But it appears that you are out for blood.
We're not out for blood. I need you to understand something.
He just doesn't want to go.
I understand we are in a room full of dead individuals, and you are within a grip's reach from turning us off. Your intentions are not to negotiate, and you have laid down your lives for that claim. I, General Etheridge Syracuse, place you all under arrest, and I must plead that you all surrender and die at once. And at this point, the figures pull over their weapons that were sheathed on their backs at this point.
Shit.
And as the figures begin, kind of almost like military firing squad style, begin to aim at the intruders in the room here, you hear.
Excuse me.
A figure no bigger than a person's shin to their foot falls from the ceiling. A small construct that has this kind of malleable end to it here, kind of like a BB-8 ball. And these 2 cylindrical arms with these 3 fingers here that pinch on in and of itself, and these big eyes, kind of like, once again, like this Treasure Planet kind of fucked bot situation here. Just crashes from the ceiling here, and is just covered in wires, and like a cloud of red dust just kind of plumes on the ground in the middle of this tension here and hits the ground.
Why am I just picturing Wheatley from Portal?
You hear, "What the deuce?" as the figure here brings its arm down towards the smaller little robot that hits the ground here. And as the robot spins itself up and kind of looks around at both of you here, it reaches into its ribs and pulls out this small series of little balls and goes, "Fucking run!"
What the fuck?
It's this situation here. The room lights up like a flashbang here, and you see the figure as this happens. Everyone here make a Constitution saving throw as well.
Oh joy. Okay, no. So
Kayla just said
Yeah,
something.
Kayla's trying to say something.
Say it! I've turned you so fucking far down. What's up?
Hey, I was making a joke. Never mind. I said I got a nat 20.
I actually did get a nat 20.
You fucking liar, Kyle.
It's fucking.
How's it feel to lie?
I mean, it's right
Like,
there.
Big boy telling your big boy lies.
You just looked up a picture of Nat 20 on your phone.
Do you want to hit the roll button?
No.
I did also roll a nat 20, but I feel bad because like I picked up my die and dropped it, and it just thunked down instead of actually rolling. So
Either way, I got a 24 for my Constitution save. So.
Kayla, do you want me to roll for you?
Yes, please.
Wow, a 20.
So after a
I
real
got it.
roll, I got a 12.
12.
22.
Hey, there you go. Hey, you should have.
I'm sorry, Kayla. Kayla got an 8.
I also
I got
Hey.
a 14.
14. Okay, 8, 14,
Hostile and Mod will live.
I
24.
also got an 8.
8. Okay, what'd you get?
22.
22. It's during this time period here, this blast, you guys were staring straight at the situation here, and you hear this horrible ringing in your ears, just kind of this horrible little, like, staring at the sunspot in your eyes. This happens here, and it kind of shakes you at this point, and it really throws you off from what exactly else is happening here. But everybody else here, as just this random chaos happens here, sees the figures in the background here begin twitching ferociously, and you see electrical arcing coming off of them here, and just a series of voice commands just being spouted out at random, like their circuitry has been kind of like electrically magnetically pulsed.
Does this affect Mod and his robot golem form?
It doesn't.
Okay.
And as the figure here spurters back up, and you hear, and at this point he opens up his chest cavity here, and this hook shoots out this blasted outside of the window here that you guys were looking at earlier here, and hits this building all the way that's hanging from the ceiling on the other side of the cavern that's going off here. It's like, this isn't gonna last just more than 5 minutes, you guys, we're gonna get out of here, holy shit! And this one here, he just throws his body on the ground and staples the other half of the hook into the ground and begins going across it here. The two people that are stunned here haven't seen any of this happen and kind of just fade out of this as this happens. Everyone else sees what's going on and sees a means of escaping and getting out of here at this moment.
I shake Melody.
Yeah, I will do the show with. Is it Ember who is also? Okay, yeah. I hopefully notice that Ember is.
They're easily able to snap out of it, but it's just a situation of not seeing what just happened. You wake up and you see there's a hook like outside the window here, and the figures here slowly beginning to start making cohesion with their speech patterns.
I'll run to Ember and just like shake her, like, and then point to the
I'm down
point
with
to
that.
the rope.
At that point, you guys rush towards the door.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, going towards the you guys hop on, and at this point, it's a situation where it's a case of this red spire that you guys are from here, and this giant hanging city that's over off, Lord knows how many yards off, hanging from the ceiling, where these creatures just not moments ago were crawling upon the ceiling here. You guys are now sprawling and crawling across this tightrope that's hooked to the very, very, very bottom part of this hanging structure that's hanging like this large stalactite.
Like the whole city is
Like a vitrified, just a chunk, like a series of buildings that are just kind of upside down and built down from the ceiling going downwards at this point. And you guys begin traveling across here. You see, as you guys begin to travel across and look down at this highwayscape of whatever's going on at this point, you see all of the different robots moving, like traffic moving through a metropolis city here. You see figures moving across one lane of traffic, and the opposite on the other side. You see these large vehicles bringing these massive machinery parts down this endless highway here that have just kind of been restored and reawakened towards time here. As you guys begin climbing along the ropes towards this is where you see the lights to these vitrified stalactite cities begin to flicker on. One, another, kind of like a rippling effect. All of these structures that are hanging from the ceilings are regaining some form of life to them. And you guys travel and travel and travel, and eventually you guys find yourselves a foothold. It's around the end part here where you begin to get the final group of people onto a ledge, something to get foothold and give your arms some sort of rest from this amount of time that you spent traveling across this area here, where the rope is suddenly cut slack here, and you feel it. And the final people that are on it gain this kind of a swinging motion as the rope on the other end is severed. And you guys make it to a point where you collide with the bottom part of the scaffolding that the rope is connected to, and you guys quickly are able to pull yourself up onto safety here. You're on this, at this point, if I can compare this to anything here, it's kind of like a cliff edge that's... It's a sort of a cliff edge that's... I'm trying to think of a good way to describe this here. Like the end of the stalactite essentially had kind of like a swing set attached to it here.
Okay.
Like this kind of like a hand-shaped little like grooved area here that has a series of conjoined metal wood scraps put together here. That seems to be like they were planning on continuing to build downward here, but stopped.
Okay.
And so essentially this like scaffolding upwards, and if you climb up enough, you'd be able to enter into this upside down build.
So it's like construction scaffolding.
Yeah, exactly. But you guys all fit onto this. All 7 of you climb on here. Glorious, one of the ones at the very end here was barely holding. I was like, fuck!
I'll pull Glorious up.
Oh, who the fuck is that? Ah! He lets go and dies. No, he's fine. Sorry. Climbing up above the edge here. You guys are put just a second, up in this area here to finally just take a better look at the awakening of what's going on here. You see the scape around you reawakening, the dark yellow haze that was the bottom of this road area that was coating the highway, slowly beginning to dissipate as life is once again brought to it. And with that in the case, the area and with the lighting of the skyscape becoming more populated again, the haze disperses and you're able to see for what seems like miles down the stretch of these two highways here. This highway goes on far beyond your length of vision here from multiple directions. You see areas in which that break off from the highways that are essentially these massive lifts that could hold like these car lifts that would be able to bring cars up from different elevators to different floors, like a garage and whatnot. Hold tons of them, like tanks and whatnot, that begin traveling downwards and bring up other things. You see entities that are holding animals in cages, traveling down different directions in the road as well.
Like actual live animals?
Yeah. In different directions. It's like the city was never dead. The entire area has just kind of resumed its progress at this point. And it says, you guys can observe this conundrum and whatnot. You hear gunshot just blast the scaffolding next to you here as you hear shouting coming from the pillar that was off in the distance to your next here. And at this point, the little tiny droid figure here is like, we gotta descend this before things get sticky, you guys. This is real bad. Clinging his arms to the edge here. You hear the bang, bang, bang of his body up against the poles on the side here as he begins to ascend upwards into the scaffolding. As, once again, these plasma fires begin to just rain down on the scaffolding which you guys are hanging on here. You guys are urged to essentially go forward as well.
Yeah, I'll assist anyone who needs to be thrown up this passage upwards.
I'd probably take some help, considering my history with trying to climb things.
Yeah, I'll basically be last to go. I'll like make sure everybody gets like a handhold up.
Okay.
How far away is it?
Okay, so essentially, the robot has you going up about, like, over 10 to 20 scaffolds at this point. A lot of them they don't really necessarily have ladders on them. It doesn't look like they were designed for people to scale these. Like, robots or something, or some sort of larger machine to assemble these. And so it's a matter of simply like clinging onto the bars on the side and hoisting yourself up onto the next platform above that it would be. And so I would, since it's a larger number of scaffolding that you're following this entity up, I would have you guys roll an athletics check to at least kind of see who lags behind during all this.
It'll be me.
What's the distance we're trying to traverse?
This is going to be, I want to say, about 40 feet up.
40 feet up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
See what my athletics is
That
actually
is
like. Oh, wow.
18 for me.
18. Okay.
And my athletics is 0. That was a good roll. And that's a nat 20 for Kayla.
Yeah, Indy and Melody are just like, fuck this. We're not getting blasted to
Well,
death yet. And you guys scale up with no problem whatsoever, following this little doodad up.
I got a 9.
9.
What does athletics fall under as far as
Strength.
strength? Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a 23.
You as well. You grab Indy's leg and pull her down.
I got a 3.
Oh, no.
Okay, so
Getting all my
Mistress
good
is
rolls
only
out.
going to try to climb 10 feet
Okay.
of this. And then she's going to...
If it's only 10 feet, then you don't even have to roll athletics, because that's just hoisting up a couple platforms.
Okay, so she's going to climb up 10 feet and then use Misty Step
Okay,
to get the rest of the way.
Easy enough to do. Crawling up the 10 feet there. You make it, and you're kind of behind everyone else, but all of a sudden, you're ahead of everyone else. You're all the way up. What did you get, Ember?
3.
Will reset my benign
Ember yourself, you had not prepared for this offensive, and you're in a situation where you're kind of waiting for all the people who are around you to climb up and just not really getting a foothold, and just the blast keep blowing out parts of the scaffolding you're on in a rush. But then out of nowhere, Glorious is like, no you don't! And lifts you up, puts like the freaking forearm under the thigh so that you're like kind of sitting on his bicep here, and it's like...
I'm like holding his head, like as he's.
One of those where you're just squeezing a little too hard. He's just like, oh.
He's a strong guy.
His neck's like a pipe, it's fine. And he does this weird... It's not gonna work like this. I'm gonna take a different route. Here, I'll take this rope.
What?
Glorious reaches the foot off the scaffolding to grab something that's not there.
Oh.
Glorious now! Oh god.
And sure enough, his hand radiates with light as it grabs onto something that's not there.
Oh.
What the fuck?
And you hear this light, just buzzing noises happen. And as he pulls his body on here, his legs kind of wrap around. The same thing happens to the areas in between where his knees kind of touch themselves here. Were you going to say something?
I was going to ask how far away Glorious was.
He's about 40
all-
feet.
all the way
yeah,
40,
he's all the way at the bottom.
Okay.
Essentially, now at this point, 5 feet just hanging on nothing with Ember here. They're like, hold on tight! And you feel your body just get wrenched upwards as he goes, and his body sails almost 10 feet forward into the air here. Once again, he's like, oh, they make these things sturdy, don't they? One more!
Ember's just like screaming every time, so it sounds like an echo.
Like, it's like virtually like riding on an invisible swing set.
that's so
It is pure
boring.
terror. And you're still not quite understanding how Glorious is doing this.
I'm not gonna question it. I'm not gonna question it.
He does this for a couple more times before he pulls himself up onto a completely different part of the structure. And his fist rinses through the bottom of it. And he pushes you up through it. And you're in this kind of pitch black container area here. It's kind of like one of these...
I 100% pictured all of that happening as a cartoon.
Yeah.
Tom and
Ember,
Jerry music's playing in the background.
She folds over immediately and throws up.
You say, do we need to do like
all over the place.
a shit your pants check on this bird?
I do want everyone to roll. Once you guys get pulled up into this area here, you guys are essentially at the very, very bottom of this kind of container-esque area here, and it's pitch black inside of the room that you're in, that you're pulled into. Aside from the small corner that you guys pulled yourselves into that seems to be broken out at the bottom from wear and tear and age of Lord knows when this city was built. It's pitch black in this room right now. So
Mod in his golem state has dark vision.
So
I also have dark
Holy
vision.
shit.
Hey!
oh my god, there are non-humans in the party. I forgot.
Mistress is blind.
What? Why?
No, it's dark,
Black.
like she
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Like,
Human.
no, it's not actually
You
blind.
tear your
not
eyes
know.
out at that moment.
Mistress is blind.
Mistress takes
She's
2
been blind
spoons.
this whole time.
I refuse to see.
When did Mistress become Daredevil?
I can't see. I can't find.
I can't find.
I can breathe.
What did you want us to roll?
Roll perception. Those who can see somewhat in this room.
Okay.
Those who can.
Those who
Yeah.
have dark vision.
Yeah, because it's not that it's not that big of a room you're in here. You're in about like a 30-foot room here.
6.
Okay, hang on.
No, wait.
13.
Oh shit, my perception is like way higher than I thought it would.
You have to
That'd
lose
be 8.
8. Okay.
Is perception under intelligence? Or
That's wisdom.
wisdom. Okay. It's an 8.
8?
Yeah.
What'd you get, Dante?
13.
13.
By the way, just let me know when when an hour's passed, and I
Yeah, I
turn
will.
back to my normal state.
You guys.
Your moderate state.
Shut up.
I might wait till Kayla comes down at this point, just because she is here,
Yes.
just before any more stuff goes on. You guys, I have some sodas in the fridge. You guys need anything?
I got my own soda, but thank you.
I'll go roam upstairs.
Sody pop.
My soda pop.
Soda pop. Soda pop.
The only reason I'm asking what these different skills fall under is because I'm just looking at this character sheet for her name's Elise apparently.
It's from
I know it's like a homebrew.
It's from a
character.
homebrew campaign that somebody put in
Yeah.
there, but I didn't know that when I picked it. So we're just gonna say it's just a non-computing like other sentient robot that's
Yeah.
not one of these guys here.
Yeah.
So what does Mod look like again to some of us?
He's essentially just like this long, lanky robot
Okay.
with kind of this ornate clothing on and just grunting.
It's
Beep.
it's admittedly the idea of this robot not being able to talk yet still being programmed to make grunts is extremely stupid.
I think
But-
it's just the sound of like internal machinery.
Basically, you just hear exactly like. Did you just hear this like whirring? Like he revs his fans to try to communicate.
Like your cooling fans.
Exactly. Yeah, we're
Oh,
fucking-
he's getting dark.
yeah
We're
we're running.
You're in a pitch black room.
Oh, fuck! Just turn off TV, upstairs lights, turn off all
Honestly.
the...
Yeah.
That'd be
Well,
so fun.
I mean, in theory, this is until someone lights it up. This is the way to do it, but it's not great on a streaming standpoint. That's the only reason I don't.
Right.
Nah.
So please, someone cast light.
It looked
Yeah.
even darker when I was last time we played and I was at home and streaming it. It looked even
I
darker.
know it looked good. Like it was real dark.
Yeah, it was great, and it was like, oh, I wish I was there. Now it's like, oh, it's not as dark. It didn't give quite as much of the cave atmosphere in person.
Kayla's gonna. What's she gonna do? Gonna like make
She's
a roast
making
beef.
I was gonna say she's making a 4-course meal.
She's gonna fire up the grill.
Okay, yeah, I'll grab that coin that I always used to use to make it smell like a cookie.
Oh, a cookie coin.
I'll touch it and it'll shed bright light in a 5-foot radius
The
and
worst
dim
could
light
be a
for
wet coin.
an additional
Ooh.
5
Mon
feet.
still has that.
Wet nickel. Oh.
You do. That's how you did buy it. So
Yeah.
Sure enough, the room fully illuminates here, and you're able to.
Thanks.
I turn it off
Well,
and on,
it's-
off and on, and off and on, and off and on.
Fucking rude.
I just go. "Ba, ba, 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 ba." Just let everybody know
Yeah.
exactly where I are.
Like, where are you? You and Glorious are not in the same container at all at this point. You guys are in a separate
Oh.
room that you guys have pulled up in. You might be able to hear muffled noises elsewhere off at this point. Glorious just kind of like heaving. He's trying to hide his muffled breath, but he's like,
Can I pull out like my tablet that's my spell book and
Yeah.
like use that as a light?
yeah, you can. It's got an LED background. Why not?
Just like
Whoa, that's handy. That's cool.
it's like fucking huge. Just
Pull
a
up.
tablet.
Glorious pulls out his isn't backlit. His phone.
He
Oh, my phone's broken.
Is it actually broken?
The room is the electronics don't work.
Oh.
So.
Glorious pulls out his original Game Boy and realizes, oh,
Why-
don't
why-
have
I knew I should have upgraded to the XP.
Why do I imagine Ember as like an old woman where she actually has a flashlight on it, but she has it turned around using the screen to try to see things?
She probably will be one day.
At this point, I don't know what I'm going to use the crying nickel for because the only reason I bought it was because Fisty was creeped out by it and I was going to prank her.
Fisty hated it.
Yes.
Did
You just
Fissy
hang
hate it
on to
because
it
Sheep
because of
hated
that.
it? Did Fissy hate it because Sheep also hated it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The concept of this nickel is always just
Because that
Just
seems like a very
wet.
anti-Sheep thing.
is a hell of a concept.
Love it.
I'll find a use for it eventually.
It's like a banana peel. You put it, and someone slips on it. It's like, whoop! They die and break their fucking neck.
I the only thing I can think is to like use it as a distraction, like slip it into someone's pocket, and then they're just like, oh my
What
fuck,
the
where's
fuck?
my fucking pants wet? What is this? It's so wet.
Yeah, it is always wet. Would it just slowly seep?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just
good.
Like if it always contains, or to clarify, it always contains the same amount of moisture on it. So if something is taking that moisture away, the moisture just replenishes itself.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So it's not like you put it on the ground and it'll just make a puddle.
Yeah,
It's
you're-
just like if you wipe it off, it'll still be the same amount of wet it was before. So in theory, if you put it in a like absorbent material, that thing will just continuously absorb.
Yeah.
So like if you slapped a sponge onto it, the sponge
Yeah.
would eventually be sopping
It would
wet.
be fully engorged.
wow.
But if you just like sit it on a slab of concrete, like it's just nothing's gonna happen. It's just
This
gonna
is,
stay.
Yeah,
the,
they're
this
just
is
stay
the
wet.
ultimate renewable resource. You could water so many plants with it.
Over a period of time.
Yeah, this is taking a super long time.
It's,
It's really
it's a
inefficient.
nickel.
I'm
So
gonna
it's a little
need
baby boy.
12 of
Just
these
put it, like,
nickels
in a
and put
plant.
one in each orchid.
Yeah. So it just continuously waters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't need much water.
Mm-mm.
I like to think of the train of events. This is a nickel that EW sent in to some higher up at the Legion and said, "Make this wet."
Hey, Celestian,
he
I know you're
custom
really
commissions
busy.
these.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like he says, "Do whatever you want with these." It's like, "I want this to happen." And the Celestia's like, "Okay."
It's
And
like, hey,
does
Celestian,
it.
I know you're busy with all the Legion stuff, but can you make this
But,
nickel wet?
You're busy basically
Also, can you make this
being
button just
omnipotent.
murder people?
But that button got its uses in.
And visit TW's Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
That button.
We don't have the button anymore,
May
right?
it rest
No,
in
you do.
peace.
Yeah, the button.
Okay.
Yeah, the button.
I thought for some reason that
We retconned.
no, it
the button
originally
and
broke.
bullets.
That's right.
But I didn't read
Wow.
the dice correctly.
Caleb brought down like the whole bedroom.
I always do this. I just do it before you guys get here.
It's true.
We were saying you're making a
Andrew.
4-course meal up there.
Yeah.
Sticks. Oh,
That-
What'd you get for
Crumbs.
Christmas?
They belong on the ground.
Not me.
Rocks.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was,
Sorry.
dude, I was like, I am not going to let him ask you, because then you wouldn't have come. There's no
That's
fucking
why
way. I was like, I will take a bullet. Bryce told me yesterday, oh yeah, you don't have to come to the judge's clinic. I was like, dope. And then today he comes up holding a piece of paper that says, I have no voice. Can you
It's
reschedule
the
your
most
thing?
dramatic fucking thing ever.
I was like, well, no.
Maybe this makes a primordial pouch.
But apparently you're in charge of all the
Skinny
technology,
man.
so.
Oh, I am.
He told
Which technology?
He told the judges that if they have technology problems, it's you.
Yes, that. Yeah, I'm IT.
So I hope that means I'm in charge of the children.
Yeah, I'm doing judge's table. So. Speaking of, would anyone in this room who
We
is not
really
already
need
planning on
help.
judging at our tournament like to judge at our tournament
We-
this Saturday?
Saturdays.
We really need help. Like we have a third of the judges that we need.
I have no forensics experience.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
You've
Yeah,
listened
You listen to
to
people do
you've listened
shit.
to your child talk about something for an extended period of time that makes you as qualified as you need to be.
And the simple fact of the matter is, a forensics piece is meant to be able to appeal to somebody who has never seen a forensics piece.
Fair enough.
Okay, we gotta get back to this.
Yes. Focus. Oh, yeah, that was a soft landing.
And lives there now.
Recap: we escaped from the fucking Civil War robot army.
I mean, I heard everything except for the first 30 minutes.
Okay.
You were approached. Essentially, those denizens that were ambushing you in the elevator came up. These figures that kind of look like a British battalion. Kind of
Yeah,
marched
British
in.
Army, I said.
Yeah,
For
I
you, it
just
looked
don't
like
know that
actual
old.
people. For everyone else, they're these antiquated antiquated robots.
Robots.
And they claim to be a part of the 14th Battalion of the Royal Island Brigade, led by Chief Commander Etheridge Syracuse. This robot that's built twice the size as the other ones are, and who led the investigation on. They essentially found out that none of you guys were people, so technically supposed to be their superiors, but didn't have any kind of scanner reads on them to link them up to being a part of the Lanterns, which were, according to them, their superiors. And except for Ember, who did have a reading off of her. But other than that,
Do we know why she did?
no.
Because she's nameless.
It's here.
Holy
Ah!
Wait,
I
I gotta
knew
find
it.
I gotta find the.
Can't be nameless.
I fucking knew it.
I was with the group when you were talking.
Ember, where
Yeah,
should
where
we
are
go
you?
next?
Or was that old Ember?
Ember, where should we go next?
Yeah, you were Ember.
Not Rudenbach. It's pretty toasty this time of year.
It's not the exact phrasing.
Namos obviously knows it already. We said it too much.
We've talked
We need to
about
change.
it.
We need to change our code word every 3 days.
Yeah,
to
we.
keep it fresh.
Yeah, our old code word fucking sucks. Like
We
it's,
also need to find another way to discuss how
Yeah,
we're
like,
changing our code word.
Imagine discussing the code word to the person you're trying to hide from.
Right, we
I
don't-
wonder, they're like, okay.
I know, let's all text each other the code word. They can't.
That's
they
smart.
Can't track
Yeah.
texts.
So they can hack into our phones.
Just text one person at a time. In theory, Nameless wouldn't have their phone number.
yeah. Well,
And that's just
oh,
a really warped, like, game of telephone. Because Hostile types it wrong.
yeah.
Okay.
And Pancake
Hostile.
turns it into Pancock.
Hostile does whenever you have like the 5 intelligence.
The water on the walls.
See, I don't type it wrong because I started.
Ember
My
and
ellipsis is
Glorious.
7, thank
You
you.
guys are stranded in this other room here, and you are just like, whoa, I can't see shit.
So then I brought out my tablet so that we,
Yeah,
so we even had like a small globe.
Hello.
Be a mod.
Are you guys nearby? At this point, you guys make a perception check. Everyone who's not Ember.
That is going to be.
21. 13.
Hang on. I gotta double check on my.
I might be dumb as a doornail, but I am a little wise.
11.
12.
Yeah, Melody hears muffled out of it.
Okay. I will cast message.
Okay.
Glorious, I hear you. You can respond to this message.
Where are you at?
On the other side of that wall, I guess.
Oh.
I'm gonna press my hands to the wall and knock.
Okay. Glorious gonna listen
Boom,
to
boom,
it. Yeah. He's like,
I'm like bum bada bum bum.
going up to his like,
All right, Ember, show your technology over here.
and as you guys flash around here, this area here just looks like a series of like condensed like metal boxes at this point. It looks like these were like the framework of different rooms that were being built downwards here, but didn't quite have a foundation built into them to be complete rooms. So there's no way in and no way out except for the way that Glorious made in. And this boy's like, that's fun.
Whoa! I back up.
And his whole body goes careening through this aluminum wall.
Wait,
It's like,
immediately?
well, it's not the same wall. He's multiple containers.
Oh,
away.
thank Christ, I
You
was
hear,
gonna die.
you hear,
I back the fuck up.
and then you hear once again, and then all of a sudden, in this lit room that you guys are in here, you see this bloody fist just
Oh my god.
blast through the door here, and it pulls out here. You see just this spray of blood fly off of it as Glorious throws his shoulder into it and blasts through the other end here, and you see, oh!
Maud approaches Glorious Concern and tries to cast Cure Wounds and then realizes that he cannot do that.
It's that thing!
It's Mod!
He's like, oh, don't worry about me.
Ember will cast prestidigitation on his arm.
As
Just
that
clean the
blood
blood off.
flies off, as he brushes him, his lay on hands seals the wounds.
Nice.
I like how she doesn't actually do anything to help, but she's like,
You won't believe who I found on the way here.
And he points to Ember, who follows behind.
Was
Yeah,
it-
just
was-
like slowly behind.
Was it Ember?
What?
Quick, where were you last summer? Wait, what's that?
The new word is pancock.
What?
Well, if you say it out loud now, if it is nameless, she's gonna know.
At this point, you all hear from the corner room.
Oh boy. Wow, golly gee.
Ugh, this bitch. I like him. He's cute.
Oh, that was quite a bit of excitement. I don't think my motors have seen such friction in quite a couple minutes.
I want to try to pick him up.
Whoa! Please don't touch me. If my kinetic sensors don't touch the ground, I start to panic.
Oh, why, little guy?
Ah!
I just cradle him. I'm like, you're okay.
He has not stopped screaming.
Ellie, put him down.
See his eyes
Well, you can have a
flickering.
pet and I can't.
I can't figure out which way's down.
Put him
He's
down.
an idiot just like me. I love him.
Maud's just in the
I'll
corner
put-
going.
He's still screaming.
I'll
Put him down.
I'll put him down. I can't have anything.
Oh, there's the floor. Wow.
What's your name, little dude?
Oh gosh.
Do you have one?
Oh. Hi everyone. How's everyone? Did everybody make it? I thought I was gonna die for sure. Oh.
Why'd you help us?
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm a little flustered here.
Oh.
That technology I use kind of works on me, but not really. I might need a second to breathe.
Take your time.
He doesn't breathe. He just stands there. Flicker on and off over and over, and then finally his head goes.
Oh. I feel real good. How's everyone doing tonight?
Does he look like a robot to
I
the
wanna
rest
hold
of
him.
us?
Huh?
Does he look like a robot to everyone?
Even to the people that are afflicted, he is just a small robot. It's,
Huh.
the spell has no effects on this guy.
Can we get a refresher? At least can I get a refresher on who all is afflicted and who isn't at this point?
It's going to be Maud, Mistress. You have a little bit of it, right?
Mistress saw the people
Yeah, you
as
did get it.
soldiers, not as robots.
You did, and then Melody, and the
Wow.
Glorious has it much
Glori-
worse.
yeah,
than
Glorious
everyone
is
else.
It's
like-
way fucked up.
Let me just say here, I am super grateful all of you guys made it. I had calculated maybe a 30% chance of me landing that hit on the structure.
Oh my god.
If it missed, well, at least we would have gone down, which is not where we were. So that's kind of good news.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and throw this out here right now. I've been following you guys since you got here.
Oh.
I'm not one of the other robots here. I work on my own terms. I thought that the lanterns were back, but you guys are just idiots. I have no idea who you guys are.
Hey, speak for yourself. You just screamed when I picked you up.
I didn't know where the ground was. You would do the same.
He's right.
Well, let me once again say, thank God, everybody's okay. Now we can sleep and just be happy we're alive.
I don't think we're safe yet.
I don't think you're alive.
Aren't we like above?
You see the figure's face kind of, like the eyes kind of once again shift to a different color. He looks over at you like,
What makes you say that?
Like, we were still getting shot at, so they probably know we're here. They're probably gonna climb up here and find us.
Oh, yeah, well, they would have to build some sort of structure or take the long way around, which gives us at least a 12-hour advantage. The higher up parts of this place are completely vitrified. Those idiots would have to carve their way through like butter and cheese.
Okay.
Well, guy does similes.
What
Okay.
the actual fuck are you?
Oh, hi. I'm a kinetic droid that works with the electrical components of this place back from the Dark Ages. My name is Spit.
Of course.
Of course it is.
Spit.
I like it.
Well, my real name consists of a series of digits and integers. Wait, that's the same damn thing. Of characters and integers that really don't contrive of a decent nomenclature. So I just go by what my superiors called me.
Little cutie?
No, they call me Spit.
Spit, I'm going to need you to assist us in getting some power to a certain place.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, well, actually have no way to prove that you guys are good, since you guys don't technically have any allegiance to our superiors, but I suppose since you turned us all back on, then you can only have our best interests in mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who is your superior?
Well, the lanterns, the ones that turned this place back on in the first place.
I mean, we do have a friend who goes by that name.
Oh, yeah? Is it that one over there?
Looks over at Ember.
I only
No, but she, I mean, I guess she
I only
could
know that
lie
because
to
everyone
her.
else said so in the base. I really don't know who you are at all.
Wait, they said that? What did they say about her?
You would have remembered from being in there. One of the.
I was having
Syracuse-
intelligence.
One
It
of
takes
the
me a minute.
one of the guys got a buzzer reading from the back of Ember's neck, like they had, like she was in their system.
Well, right, but did they say what they called her?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
No.
What do they call her?
What are you talking? What are you
I'm asking Spit. What were they calling her?
Said she was one of the lanterns.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't understand the word you just said.
One of the lanterns.
Oh, one of the lanterns. Okay, I just heard that, but
I'm wondering if this just has something to do with the dreams I've been having lately. That's been dealing with the levers and shit that some of us are and are not seeing.
So lanterns and graycoats, they're the same thing, right?
Well, the lanterns wear gray coats. That's part of their designation. So I suppose so. Although I feel like if anyone wears a gray coat, that doesn't necessarily make them a lantern. That's kind of biased and bigoted, in my opinion.
Damn.
yeah, hostile.
Alright, so I'm just thinking out loud here. He who lights the lantern.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you're just referring to lantern at that point.
that's kind of what I was thinking, because
Yeah,
yeah.
that's our friend.
Well, yeah, lantern's my boss.
So yeah, we definitely have his.
Well, he's the one that runs this facility.
Have you seen him lately?
No, he disappeared when he shut everything off.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
In fact, it's been like a month or so now since he did that, and everybody's been frozen, and I've just kind of been scurrying around, lonely.
Meta, wasn't Lantern the one that you met
No.
back in the facility?
What?
No. When Hostel was like
Lantern
separate?
is Match, right?
Maybe.
I think Lantern is Match.
Okay.
So what were you referring to with Dante?
When Hostel was like separate from the party and we were looking for him and he was like in a cell being tortured.
That was Terminal.
Oh, okay.
yeah, different guy.
Okay.
but Lantern is the one that was with Dahlia, right? Like
Yeah.
that was this Lantern
Okay.
match and the guy who was with Dahlia.
Make
They're
an
all the
intelligence
same
check
person,
for me, Dante.
We're an
With-
intelligence
with
based
my
character.
+4, that is a 5.
My God!
Can I try?
You're just like at this point you're like there are too many fucking names.
yeah, mine wasn't any better.
Great.
Specifying again, yeah, I've kind of been roaming around here. My little body runs off of a kinetic generator inside of me. As long as I keep moving, I keep up powered. I don't run off of the circuits that these guys do from the super transformer. So I'm not hindered when things turn off. They did that so I can help fix electrical issues when it happens. Idiots. I can just do whatever I want.
Alright. So Lantern wanted to shut this place down.
Yeah,
But
I don't know
clearly-
what happened. The guy was
Clearly just turning it off didn't shut everything down like I think he was hoping. So I think we need to like full on destroy this place.
Well, it did something. It fucked up the superconductor that they were working with, and now they can't control it anymore. It caused all of the other lanterns that were here to leave. They weren't very happy with Mr. Lantern by the time he was done turning everything off here. But then again, I haven't seen any of him since. It's been like a month or so. I've just kind of been lonely, playing with the spiders that roam around here. And they're way too big for me to have any sort of real conversation with. So,
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
We gotta get out of here.
Well, the Zeta wing was overrun after the collapse a couple weeks ago, and so now all of the spider monkeys just kind of crawl around and eat all the robots. It's really fun, but I'd run away from them if I were you. They're not one to reason with.
Oh God. That coming down the stairs was a bad idea.
I just knew that when I rescued you guys would be able to help somehow. Everyone here, they're focused on completing the work for these people, our superiors, and, well, they're gone now, and so all these robots are just gonna die off if no one tells them what to do soon. Maybe that's where you guys come in. You guys can be the new lanterns.
Should we put on some gray coats?
I do have a great.
Do you have extra uniforms, Spit?
Well, let me go ahead and check my pocket here.
He pulls open his chest cavity here, and you
It's
see like
gross.
a series of fingers fall out.
Oh,
you see
Why?
you see a rotten zucchini fall out. You
Bro, you need to
see
clean out your fridge.
at least like a dozen wrenches fall out as well, and like this material that like resembles like a thick soup pours out from the bottom.
I remember my high school locker.
Oh.
Well, I don't think I have any coats here, but some of my other friends might have some. There were a bunch of us before, well, the great shut-off of a couple weeks ago. You guys might have a lot of questions. How did you guys find this place?
We went into a bar, and I touched something I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, that's Brights Peak Manor. That's the entrance of this place. Back when this place was established, they made that place so sturdy to any kind of incursions that no matter what kind of disasters fell this place, the facility would stay intact. But maybe that was a plan that was a couple 100 years old. It's been almost a millennia now.
Yeah, it seemed like that.
What was this facility originally designed for?
Well, this facility was designed by one of my oldest bosses. An entity we all knew as Hallowed. It's an, kind of a big supercomputer that ran its reins through the sidelines while it bossed a bunch of CEOs around. People who own big tech companies and wireless providers on the surface, all band together in some world-conquering conquest to assimilate the world to one large know-it-all benefactor. But that's just my assumption. They didn't tell me anything. At the end of the day, a group of people came in, killed my boss, and then there was nobody to run this facility.
What do those people look like?
The people that killed my boss?
Yeah, the murderers.
Well, according to my history, there were a group of people. They were co-workers here. They were members of the facility that ran this place. I think there was like 5 or 6 of them. A bunch of people, a couple mutants, and
Like this, I showed the picture that I took of the picture in the bar.
Barry Myers.
oh yeah, that's the Sigma sect. They're the ones that killed them.
There's the Sigma males.
Oh yeah, Sigma was a group of people that were essentially like a suicide squad, sent in to deal with issues that the organization knew were gonna fail, but eventually would learn more about the people in the group from. It was really stupid because they ended up recruiting enough members that they were able to take them out. I wouldn't have done that, but then again, I don't really have the brains to take on higher management.
Oh, I think you're really smart.
No, I literally do not have the CPU power to handle higher management tasks. I'm being objective with you here. I'm sorry, sweetie.
It makes me confused because you were able to save us, and so that makes me feel.
I'm able to
bad
fire a
about this.
harpoon from my chest. That requires maybe 50% of my CPU.
I mean, I do feel like that's kind of what upper management is, but
So, Spit is Janet.
No, it's just spit.
I've always thought that what you
Not a
need
person.
most in a manager
Not
is
a
the
manager.
ability to fire a harpoon out of your chest. I've always been disappointed that none of my bosses could do that. It's really caused a problem with my ability to respect them. We should
Well,
let Rice know that.
So like, Barry Myers, just so everyone is all on the same page. Barry Myers was the leader of the vigilantes.
Yeah. And also my cat.
oh, Barry Myers was one of the managers of this facility. He actually ran the entrance to the place as kind of like a by job before he eventually turned into a traitor and killed everyone. But that's all right. I guess he did it for the better.
That's fun.
But he's long dead. He died in the incursion, so we don't have to worry about anything about him.
All right, so Spit, how do we
Spit.
destroy this place?
Why would you want to destroy this place? This place has so much history.
That's just kind of his vibe.
This place was the pinnacle of the Third Age. This place built the world into what it is. Why would you want to kill it?
And I respect that, but
I respect that, but I
it's
wanted to
kind of destroying the world now.
What if we can
The,
use...
Why would it? Why
the
is it
lanterns have been using its power for evil instead of for good, as it was originally designed for.
Can we have a group huddle?
Don't know what we're doing right now.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Without the... Oh, God.
You need me to leave? I can leave.
Just like for a couple minutes.
Like I'll probably forget that I was told to leave after a couple minutes, and then it'll be like I was never gossiped about.
Cool.
Where do you want me to go? This is like a 30-foot room.
Can you just go to the edge and then like sing to yourself or something?
I'll do you one better. I'll just go out that room that guy punched
Oh, there
through
you
and
go.
just go through there.
Okay,
That make
that
you feel
works.
better?
That does. That's great.
You might put some towels or something down. This room has really good acoustics, and I'll probably hear it from there too. I just programmed to pick up on audio frequencies and translate. So you might actually try to do that. I'm gonna go over here.
If he goes,
Okay, let's all just like stomp while we talk.
like he's maybe like 2 feet tall. He's the smallest little robot.
I
You're
love
just
him.
as his little like
You're telling me that is
traction
the
pad
cutest
that he's
thing
sitting
you've
on
ever
here just
seen.
kind of takes him out of the room.
He's just Wally.
If you compare this to anything, it's like Claptrap from the Borderline series.
Yeah.
It's the best
Oh,
comparison.
no.
For this.
No, I'm just
Sorry about my
wondering
positive demeanor. I'm actually quite depressed.
if they're looking for a leader, if we can get them under our control, then maybe we can use them to help take down the Greycoats.
Potentially.
They're aimless. They're looking for a leader. Mod and I are charismatic. Maybe not like this. But I mean, look at the muscles. We're pretty charismatic. You're pretty smart. Indy's got a great ass. Amber's
I
hot.
need more than my goddamn body.
Mistress is so tall. I mean, we are basically set up to be leaders.
I love you for your snark if that.
Around
I
this
just-
time,
Come on.
as Maud begins to grunt, you hear his body go. He turns back to normal.
Nice. Welcome back.
Here's
Miss
my,
you like that already.
I was just.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I was just gonna say you're fun to drink with.
If we can usurp control here, then it can be re-usurped.
Yeah.
Put it simply, something like this isn't necessarily reliable unless we can completely secure the...
Well, but how else are we supposed to
Means of-
take down the Greycoats? We don't have that manpower.
Well, see that's what I'm concerned about. If we take this place over and shut down the voice, the Greycoats surely are going to send their full might to here to take it back. But if it's completely destroyed,
Well,
and then
the
Yeah.
robot did say that the Greycoats left here once he broke the place.
that's true.
And who knows? There's no telling that they won't come back.
what if we set it up to where if they come back, it explodes?
How would we do that?
Landmines.
Bombs.
What if we just break the switch?
Does anybody have the sort of technical know-how to? and I look
Or
over
what
also
if we
like, oh,
just
yeah.
completely destroy this place?
I mean,
Then we don't have to worry about the Greycoats coming back and somehow bypassing our
but I feel
traps.
bad for
place
little
is-
Loogie over
This
there.
place is enormous. How would we even go about that?
Well, we don't have to destroy the entire place. Just I think whatever this super conductor thing that he keeps talking about. Like if we actually destroy it instead of just shutting it off.
Whatever's making the problem a problem. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll destroy the superconductor and then we'll get a big explosion. We'll be caved in here. Who knows?
I would rather not be caved in here.
I mean, I guess if that happens, like
If that
worst case scenario, like we saved the world from the voice.
Maybe.
Even if we're dead, like that's still a great thing that we did.
Important question. Didn't we get a magic item that lets us connect any door to TWs?
Yeah.
Sure do.
Sure did.
With a doorknob.
So, have any of these doors had doorknobs?
You haven't seen any doors yet.
Okay. But theoretically, if we could find a door,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
we wouldn't have to worry about a
We could yoink
cave
out of
in.
here real fast.
Because we could just, yoink ourselves back to TWs.
With the Franklin buyer.
Frequent shopper, actually.
Southern
Sounds fun.
intelligence.
Yeah.
I mean, this is contingent on us actually finding a way to use it.
I just really, really want to ask them if we can be their leader.
Step 1, find door. Step
I mean-
3, detonate nuke. Step 2,
Melody, are
question
you
marks.
willing to stay here and keep control of them?
Who says we need to stay here? Maybe we can can we like remote in? Just be like remote.
Well, if we don't leave
I don't know, I have more
to
questions.
protect the method of gaining control of the robots.
I mean, could we
Then
like collapse the front entrance so maybe no one else can come in?
Well, what does that? Will that solve the issue with the voice?
Seems
well,
like-
I'm
what's-
an idea girl. I'm not an
what's
execution
your-
girl.
What's the purpose behind taking control of it instead of destroying it?
I don't know. You're just so cute. If we
We can-
destroy it, we have to take Loogie with us.
I'm okay with that. He cute.
Loogie.
I'm always
Can
down
we-
for more minions.
Can we?
With my pet.
Spit is gross enough. Can we not call him Loogie?
I'm going like backwash.
No, it's still worse.
Or like his name. That'd be cool too.
Spit's fine. I hate to say it, but Spit's fine. By the way, our
Good to hear, Mod.
You hear in the distance.
They just called me Spit. You can call me what you want.
okay,
Ah, little cutie.
Melody and I are still like we're still down
We're
in
still
intelligence
fucking
points,
idiots.
right?
Yes.
Okay,
What?
just one, right? Okay, so we're just mildly stupid. Or-
No, we're below average.
Well, I know we were below
That's
average anyway.
7, yeah.
Not
You
great.
are one intelligent point above 50.
But the same modifier.
Which means the same modifier
Yeah.
as Fisty.
We're just as dumb as the girl who showered with her clothes on. And was easily distracted by the smell of cookies.
It gives me an idea. I take the coin and turn off the light and like make it smell like a cookie. And just with my dark vision, look at both of you and just
Make a perception check.
Now, just because they're as dumb as Fisty doesn't mean that they are
just like
delighted by cookies and other things the way Fisty was.
Do you guys like cookies, the two of you?
Mod says, "Is someone baking cookies?"
Mods, you see
Yeah!
and you see the hungry eyes.
Switch the light back on, turn off the cookie.
You can try corn dogs.
Where'd the
Oh yeah.
cookie go?
Oh my god.
Oh, I ate it. Sorry, I didn't know you liked
You
cookies.
made me a cookie and then you eated it?
I didn't know you liked cookies. Next time I make one, I'll make sure you get one.
I mean, I like cookies. I'm not that offended.
It's
I like
okay,
cookies, but
I'll
like,
get you a cookie next time.
I just
we go
don't
somewhere.
understand where they came from.
I'm just like making up invaders then.
My babies.
Well, I'm not gonna draw. I'm not gonna draw on the cookie. I'm not gonna draw on the cookie.
Don't worry,
And
I'll get you
Mod's
another
gears are like
cookie.
fucking going like 1,000,000 miles an hour, which is really is just on a very small hamster
Don't
wheel,
get him out.
trying to figure out where the cookie smell came from, and then went.
It makes me think of Nick Miller. Get you cookie, got cookie. Got cookie, got you cookie. That's what that makes me think of.
We're sitting here surrounded by people who want to kill us, and I'm sitting here making a coin smell like a
Like, hey,
cookie.
Mom.
Okay.
Robot,
Hello?
you belong to us now.
Okay.
No, I don't think
Done.
that's.
He strolls back in and is like,
I am Spit.
Oh, nice bit.
Nice to meet you, Master. What's your name?
Hey, no,
I am
she is not
mistress.
your master.
No.
Nice to meet you,
She-
Mistress.
she's-
I will follow you to the death.
No, wait.
Oh my god.
That's well, we're not dying, so that's you don't need to do that. My name's Maud.
I've been alive for almost a millennia. Please kill me. I'm running out of processing power.
We need to give him an update.
You
when we get
die
back.
when
When-
I die.
Oh.
That sounds crazy, and I love it.
It's like an old Windows 98 computer.
Yeah.
That's right now.
Just
She makes dial-up noises.
Please, if you can only speak one at a time, I can only process so many voices at once.
It all sounds like and you hear like a series of screeching come from him.
Robot,
Hi.
what are your cores being used for right now?
Well, one of my cores is used to propel me forward. I have another core that powers my LED lights at front, which allow me to see in dark places. I also have a propelling unit within my core cavity that's propelled by my kinetic generator that can launch projectile forward, which I've demonstrated earlier, which,
As he says, I grab another coin and touch it and make the dial-up modem sound while he's saying,
Why would Hassel even know what that sound is?
As this happens here, you see the LEDs in his eyes just begin going.
You're hurting him.
He shuts off.
Oh no.
Shut up the coin.
A couple seconds later.
oh, hello. And then there's I have a function that allows me to speak, a function that allows me, the memory unit inside of me kind of records what people say over a series of, as far as I know, forever. I've never forgotten something, and if I have, I don't remember it.
Can you play back things?
Well, yeah, I can.
Maud
It's
says.
one of my
You
core
come
properties
here.
is to be able to speak.
Maud speaks up. Says, "Hi, I was the.
Hi. What's
the.
your name?
My name's Maud. I was.
I've just met you. I've
I
never
was-
seen you before this moment.
I
Where
know.
does this go?
I was the big robot for a bit. I'm better now.
I thought you were hot. Okay.
That's well. I don't think I could
This
do
is
that
robot
again.
horny.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint.
That's okay.
do
I
you-
don't remember it anyway.
Do you have a core for making friends?
Well, that probably fits in my hard drive somewhere. I'm technically just allowed to say I'm in love. I don't actually feel it, but
Oh.
sure, I can do that.
Okay. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to meet a new person who I can actually trust and who doesn't want to make me want to kill myself out of distrust.
Well, hello.
So that's
my name is
nice.
Smith.
And he holds his hand out like this.
Maud, what's going on?
I kind of nervously just grab his hands, not knowing what to do, and just
You see his
Shake.
eyes just kind of twitch back and forth.
Okay.
all right.
That's new. People usually just spit.
Oh. Maud looks at his hand and then
Really
wipes it on his
donkey with
leg.
me.
It was the greatest gig that I had. Every time I did something good, they would pay me. They told me my currency was spit.
Oh.
That's just
So every time I did something good, they'd spit on me. It was awesome. Well, they told me it was awesome, so I believed them.
Maud is
Is
very
there
glad that
anything you like?
Well, I really like moving, and I like talking, and I like shooting things from my chest. I really like that last one. And overall, I like helping people.
Aw.
I would die for this one.
I,
It's been so long since I've talked to someone. I've been so lonely, and I'm glad I got to save you all, because if you were dead, this would not have been as fun of a conversation.
I am glad that I touched your spitball with my fake hand.
Inner struggle, mistress?
Yeah. So.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Spit would count as tiny. Yes.
I don't like where you're going with
I
this.
sure am.
So.
This could go a couple different ways.
I'm wondering if it would be possible, given that Spit has just, pledged himself to us, if I would be able to, like, after a long rest and re-preparing the spell, because it's not currently
Yeah.
prepared, cast Find Familiar to turn Spit into my familiar.
So what's the description of Find Familiar again?
So, Find Familiar
getting-
would, like, you gain the service of an animal, and it essentially just summons one.
Don't like
But there are
this.
mechanics in the DM's guide to get things like imps to agree to be your familiar, and it functions the same as the spell. So,
We're
like, I'm
enslaving an
asking if
NPC
that
right
would be an option here.
You can try it. I'd probably give you a check for it since this is clearly a very old piece of technology here, and so it might not necessarily function towards your magical capabilities, and your capabilities might not consider it an animal.
Yeah, well, it is not an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but
so, like, well,
Not
in theory,
maybe.
it might work on something more current, because at least it would be more attuned to modern day magics. This creature has specified here that he has been around since the Hollowed Age, and he is running on a piece of technology here that is not even like damageable by electromagnetic pulses. So he's like one step away from a gas generator. And so you could try to see if you'd be able to attune and assimilate your abilities to it. I would definitely allow you to do that. But like I said, you'd have to make a check for it.
Yeah, do we feel like we have some time right
Also,
now in this
Spit
moment?
is very compliant to you, so you might not have to do that.
But this would allow me to do things like put Spit in a pocket dimension and resummon Spit.
Oh, yeah,
and things like that.
And, like, look through his eyes and stuff.
Look through his eyes and get the benefits of the familiar. And essentially allow Spit to be unkillable. So that we could perpetually have Spit.
You're gonna ruin all of my plans. No, I'm joking. Yeah, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Do we feel like we have an hour and 10 minutes?
Sounds like it.
Well, we're pretty far up here. They know where we are, but there's really no easy way to get here unless they have something to propel a harpoon from their chest. Which, if they do, we're probably fucked. But that's highly unlikely. Harpoons are such archaic technology. I'm honestly a little embarrassed they still have this thing.
I was also
Don't be
gonna
embarrassed. It's
say,
really cool.
when-
I can answer any questions you have while this happens. I honestly, you guys are the only hope we have. If I can help you any way I can, I'll do it.
I have a question for you.
Oh God.
Do you, from what you experienced, did anything change like around 3 months ago that was like really dramatic?
Are you referring to when the lanterns came, or when everything was shut down?
Yeah,
I mean,
when
what
the
are you referring
lanterns
to?
came.
Well, I was the only one kind of doing stuff around here. Everybody here didn't really, wasn't really a thing until they came along.
Okay.
They pulled everybody here out of the vitrified sections of this facility. They, turned them online and they put them onto the power grid so that they'd help them transport stuff from here to somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody here is just essentially a big moving agency, or something to build and repair things.
Okay.
Essentially, everybody here was meant to bring stuff down that long highway down there. I've never been past the highway's dark spot, but I assume it's pretty cool.
What's the dark spot?
Well, eventually the lights from this facility stopped being able to reach down the highway. The highway travels for, well, according to the files that I saw from Mr. Lantern and Mr. Amba and Mr. Brasswood, they said that it traveled for miles to a different town entirely, something underground, that they were bringing stuff to.
They're bringing stuff to that town?
Yeah, they would bring machinery, they brought animals, they brought people sometimes. It was interesting. They brought all sorts of weird stuff there. They brought a lot of animals there. That was it. In fact, actually, that's mostly what they brought there until everything shut down. Now nothing goes, because everything shut down.
So do we think that's when the tunnels started? Or do you think what we're looking for is in that other town.
Could go either way.
Do you know where the superconductor is? Like,
Well, we were just there.
oh,
Yeah.
Switch.
It's giant. It's the giant machine that's producing all that light down there. And it's also the one that's driving everyone crazy.
Oh.
so
Oh, are you referring to the Orion Vice superconverter?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a nasty thing.
Where is it?
Well, like I said, it's
Oh,
actually right next to the pillar we were just at. That pillar there is kind of a connecting agent to accessing its ability, but
So was that shut off before the lanterns came?
the lanterns are the ones that turned it back on. In fact, they're the one that they used its power to hook all of us up to a grid, and it was a very interesting process. During the entire time we were there, the machine was actually only on a multiple of times. They would only keep it on for a couple minutes at a time. Then Lantern came along, messed everything up, and now it's always on.
What do you? So you know it's making people go crazy. Do you know why?
Let me take a moment to download my thoughts a couple weeks ago. I have finished downloading my thoughts from a couple weeks
Do
ago.
you have to make that noise when you think?
What noise?
Okay.
Anyway, the lanterns. Well, I call.
You good, CJ?
Continue, please.
Oh, well, this machine was actually a device, like I said, it's not actually anything that special. It's a device called the Orion Vice Superconverter. It's essentially it was a plan by my former employers to fix our age's electrical issues, like a giant Tesla coil that was meant to travel for great distances and multiply power beyond its means. But there was a small issue with the program back in that time period, you see. The superconverter was too good at its job and grew into realms that it wasn't meant to invade in. For instance, people's brain frequencies, the electronic waves that run through their brains were infected by the converter and merged with and assimilated with the program. So as they tried to correct this issue, it turned out they would make programs that would be able to correct it and nerf its abilities to affect people's brains. But it turns out that program just ended up assimilating the code altogether. And so it ended up being too big of a beast for my employers to deal with. So they shut it down. And it's been shut down for about, I don't know, 1,000 years now.
Whoa. Damn.
And then these guys come and they turn it on.
And then we just turned it on again.
Well, they don't turn it on. They turn it on for maybe like 10 minutes at a time. And then turn it off again. I never really learned why they were doing it, though. They seem to have been trying to develop something with the frequency, but they felt like if they kept it on for more than that, then it would start affecting them. So they had a special team that would turn it off every 10 minutes. They would keep it on for 10 minutes at a time, deal with the effects, and turn it off, and then go back to whence they came. And, well, now it's always on. And nobody comes here anymore. I'm fine, though. It doesn't affect me. I don't think it does. If it does, I'm in trouble.
So, here's the thing.
What's your name?
My name's Chris.
Hi, Chris. I'm Spit.
Hey, Spit. So here's the problem. It's doing exactly what you just talked about. It's assimilating into people's brains. It's honestly kind of screwing up a lot of the world.
Well, that shouldn't be an issue. It should only affect people in here, then.
The lanterns were, I believe, creating
You slut.
Yeah, Chris.
The lanterns were creating basically radio antennas to like get the signal out further.
Oh.
So
Well, if that's the case, then if the signal's been on for more than 10 minutes, then it's probably just been going constantly for these people wherever it is. It's probably pretty bad.
yeah, it's becoming an issue. It's basically reverting everything back to its original state. So it's destroying full cities. It's making people see things they shouldn't be seeing.
What do you mean reverting back to its original state?
So you've never left here, right?
I lived here forever.
So
Since the beginning of time, 500 years ago.
It is the beginning
Ember,
of time.
Ember, show Spit your tablet.
Okay, I do that.
That's crazy. It's like rectangular.
It's like the opposite of you.
I have spherical and rectangular parts.
Oh.
I'm not just rectangular, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean
I thought he was just round.
I'm confused. Shapes are crazy. Anyway, what were you saying?
Just pat him on the head.
Ow.
So
I'm
a lot
programmed to
of
say that when I'm touched.
a lot of the world has evolved to be using technology like this, and the signals that we believe this superconductor are releasing is destroying that technology. It's taking these cities that people have built with these giant buildings and whatnot and reverting them back to nothingness.
Well, that doesn't make a lick of sense. That wasn't the issue the superconductor had before. The superconductor assimilates things. It blends electronic frequencies in with its own. If anything, it's just bringing it over here. Well, that's probably what the lanterns used the avatar storage for.
The what?
The avatar storage. There was a place whenever somebody got affected by the conductor too much, they would be able to retrieve the information from the storage. There's like thousands of people there. It's crazy right now.
Spit, I have a question.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Melody.
I'm Spit.
Hi, nice to meet you. You said
Nice to meet you too.
you said you can replay voices, right?
I can.
Can you replay images as well, or just voices?
No, just voices.
Could you play back the voice of your boss for us?
I have several bosses. There were
Lantern. 3
main people that patrolled this area, but only one of them that actually reigned over the robots.
Who is that?
Lantern.
Okay, I want to hear Lantern's voice.
Sure, I can retrieve something here. It'll just.
It's at this point the robot completely powers down.
Oh, great! I killed Spit.
As it pops up again.
Oh. Hi, I'm Spit.
Hi, Spit.
What's up?
Do you remember us?
Yeah, you're Melody, and you're Mistress, and you're Chris, and you're. I'm Spit. Anyway,
What? I have like the easiest name of them all.
you have not told me your name.
Yes, I
yet.
have.
Oh dear.
It's okay. You'll figure it out.
Man, I thought you did for remember
Sorry.
everything.
I tried to retrieve information on Lantern, but something seems to be corrupted.
Yeah, trap.
It's like the information's been pulled from my system. It's like just a big hole is there. That's strange.
That is really strange.
Spit, do you have...
Mon says this totally sincerely without any
God
like
damn it,
conspiracy.
come on. You would know. Alright, what?
Do you have, like Ember's talking to Spit.
Hi, I'm Spit.
Hi. Do you have a way to, like, download your files? Or...
Well, it's already here.
Ember, are you coming on to Spit?
Shut up. Yes. She just, like, pushes on Chris. Like, or a way to like where I can look into your brain?
Well, that depends on your ability to access my brain. I'll do whatever you say. If
Can
you
I-
want to try, you can. But if you kill me, then I guess I'm dead.
Well, if I kill you, I'll bring you
I trust you with that.
While we're doing this, Mistress will begin casting Find Familiar as a ritual.
Okay, so I assumed you were doing this
Yeah.
this entire time, by the way.
So an hour and 10 minutes is how long.
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
take,
And so I assumed that was happening during this whole thing.
I just wanted to make sure it was.
Will this count as a
explicitly
short
stated.
rest?
Yeah, yeah. Huh?
Do
No, a short rest. You guys see
Um,
so fucked up doing this against Spit's consent.
I'm gonna
Somebody
play.
said it was okay.
Spit,
I guess
will you
so.
consent to being my familiar?
I'll follow you anywhere.
That's right, he did. Okay.
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play a Song of Rest, so anyone who uses hit dice can also use an additional d6.
To heal yourself during this time because you guys are having a short rest.
back. So does he have like a keyboard that comes out, or like a way I can like see the remote?
You would,
into-
this robot here,
'Cause
you
he's, like,
probably have to
old.
disassemble him.
Okay.
Does Spit
Yeah.
have an HDMI out?
It's a
Does he have a port?
it's a coax.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Plus one. Plus
Jesus.
D6 for her song.
Probably got one of those at home,
We
but
can do that up to 6 tokens. Or you
Okay,
can do
so
D8 plus
I'm gonna
1.
use my okay recovery.
So I give a D10 plus 1
Plus a D6.
and do that 6 times.
Up
Okay.
to 6 times, yeah. You
So-
can basically just keep track. And once you get. Like,
Were you
close to
guys-
full health.
Just letting myself understand what you guys were wanting to try to do here. You guys were wanting to turn off the conductor, right?
Yes.
Oh,
I think we introduced
well, that shouldn't be too hard. We just we just need to get the 8 people to turn off the switch, and then it should be good.
Oh, okay.
Wait, the 8 people?
Yeah, there were 8 people that Lantern and Amba and Brasswood hired to turn off the machine at regular intervals, once a day or so.
Do you remember that pattern?
What do you mean pattern?
Do you remember how they did it? How they turned it off?
Yeah,
So just
they brought 8 people to turn off a switch. They pulled the
Use
levers simultaneously.
Okay, so we just need.
One more person.
Can you pull one, Spit?
I would love to.
There you go.
Well, boy, howdy. Let's go tug on some
as long as they're
tug on
not,
some sticks.
That's
as long
gonna
as
be an
they're not,
issue.
like rock.
The 14th Royal Island Battalion kind of patrols the area around there, and they're not too happy with you right now.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt.
In theory, we could do one of 2 options. We could, 1, kill all of them, or we could, 2, appeal to their better nature. Because they're dealing with a lot of issues right now with the livestock. I'm sure they'd be able to be made to deal with.
Let's not do it. We can
Or-
appeal to the better nature of robots.
We could go
We
in
catch their
disguise, and all of us pop a tasty bear and see what the fuck happens.
Hey,
I'm here for it.
Tasty Bear is pretty fun.
My
Not
records
gonna lie.
don't confirm bears being that tasty.
Well, they're a little gamey.
Andrew, your son is chewing on the cord.
Is it I sang Jesus fucking Christ?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down to try to convince them. I think they're probably still trapped in that room up there. And those people are still trapped in the elevator.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
worst
yeah.
comes to worst, we can just kill them.
Yeah, we have the option of kill them or attempt to convince them, and if that doesn't work,
Kill
them.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works for me.
In my opinion, that's a bit counterintuitive to saving them, but I'm down for anything.
Well, it'll be last resort. Your last resort to kill them.
No, it's just my opinion. I'm worthless.
No, that's not true.
Oh, Spit.
Not to us.
You have interpersonal value now.
You really mean that?
Give me yeah.
Yeah, look at the meme I made.
Nobody's ever said I was useful before.
Oh.
I mean,
I will follow you anywhere.
Ah.
thank you, Spit. And I just kind of glared, Mistress.
I intend to make great use of you, Spit.
I think we have to kill Mistress. I'm gonna be honest. If we have to pick between her or Spit, I you know where my allegiance
This
lies.
is, man, oh, there's so many options. I just want love.
Look,
But if
man,
Mistress
just
dies
stick with
now,
me and
that's
you'll be
Spit's
cool.
her
All right.
failure. Does Spit also die?
I think a familiar, like in this case, would just become unbound. It's not like the fox, which is a spirit summoned and
Yeah.
inherently bound to me. Like this would be Spit consented to becoming a familiar, and therefore, like, is bound.
While you're alive.
Yeah, while I'm alive.
I do
Although,
this.
granted, given that I explicitly gave him the instruction, "You die when I die," I'm not sure if he would self-destruct.
Oh no.
I do want, as you're doing this whole process here, give me an intelligence saving throw.
An intelligence saving throw. Okay.
As you're trying to bind to this archaic individual.
Damn it. Mistress is probably really good at that. She's really smart.
She's a weezer.
9.
Oh.
Mistress.
I rolled a 2.
Get new dice.
I rolled a 3. But I don't have as big of a modifier as you do. So,
Damn.
that lucks you out.
Oh, good. Mistress doesn't die yet.
You
That would just be
Like, you have quite the learning curve trying to adjust your spell to this. It's quite the curve here. You're recalling a lot of information. You know a lot about the older facilities, about the, about Redwire, the old government, the facility that ran during the Hollow Age, that essentially nerfed and throttled the planets during that period here. And you're recalling a lot of your information to be able to assimilate to that mindset, and it takes like the full extent of your ability to cast a spell, but on a whim, it works. And he's your familiar now.
I'm not happy about this.
All right.
Same.
I will
Is there
need
any
to,
other questions you guys have for Spit during this time?
Do you, I'll ask Spit. So you said that the Greycoats came and they reactivated the reactor, right?
Yeah, they turned it back on.
Do you recall what they looked like?
Yeah, I met with many of them. Well, a lot of the regular dudes that came from the highway, but the 3 main dudes that controlled the facility, yeah, I remember those ones.
And these are people who are new to you. These aren't people from hundreds of years ago.
No, they only showed up once the facility was turned on.
Okay.
There was the 3 main ones. I think there were more than that, but there were only 3 that were responsible for getting things around here up and operational.
Do you remember their names?
Well, there's technically 4, although I didn't see one of them as much as I wanted to. There was one of them, there was an older man. His name was Brasswood. He's the one that controlled all of the human experiments that came through here. He brought in all the individuals that dealt with the levers. He's the one that dealt with the that dealt with the Psywing all the way on the western edge, the live specimens and whatnot. He didn't talk much, but he was very good at what he did. Other than that, he didn't stay for the whole project. He stayed while everything was being set up. The robots were put into action, and then I never saw him again. Then there was Zomba. I never saw what he looked like. He had a big fishbowl on his head. But he came by every couple of days to check on things. He would stop by the proto-wing, the proto-laundry, pick up new pieces and equipment, and he'd travel along the highway. Amba had a big part in the highways that were being built underground. And so he never stayed here very long. He only stayed to pick up equipment and then went on his merry way. I never talked to him or heard his voice even once. Then there was another fellow that came from all the way on the other east side of the end of the highway. I never seen him before. People just sent him stuff. His name was Border. He ran the receiving end of the facility at the end of the highway. Lots of animals and equipment was sent to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're intimately familiar with that facility.
Okay, then you don't even need my help anymore.
No, we need you, buddy.
Okay, never mind.
So Meta, just to make sure I understand the timeline here. So this place was dormant for like half a millennium, and then the Grey Coats showed up, kind of like reactivated it, used it for their own means, and then after like a couple months or whatever, they left, but they kept
for like 3 or so months.
Yeah, but then they kept that reactor on when they left.
Something happened. Like they said, Lantern did something that essentially kept the lantern on, whereas it was being kept on for only like 10-minute intervals at a time. He did something to the point where like it stayed on, and it forced the Grey Coats to leave.
Interesting. Okay.
So I have
because they couldn't be around the frequency.
I have a couple of concerns.
Oh, there's one more. I didn't.
Yeah, you mentioned it
Border
before.
was the one. Border was just the one I hadn't seen before. Then there was Lantern. He's the one that stayed here the longest. There was only a small amount of time for about a 2 or 3 week period where he wasn't here, but for the most part, he's the one that looked after the main machine itself and made sure that the signal worked the way it was supposed to.
And we're assuming that Lantern is match, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's what I was anyway. I didn't know if I was.
That's what I was taking.
Yeah.
All right, I have 2 concerns. Number 1, will the levers still be stone when we go try to pull them?
Not for all of us.
Not if we go crazy enough.
Number 2, if we turn them off, what would stop the lantern from coming back and just turning them back on? Because now they have the same technology we do with these helmets. Like, I'm worried, A, that we won't be able to pull the levers, but B, that it's not going to be enough for a permanent solution.
So, from
once we have access to it, we may just need to destroy the thing in its entirety rather than simply activating or deactivating it.
So,
you mean like the switches or like the superconductor itself?
What? Not necessarily the superconductor, but the converter.
Oh, okay.
So
which
there's
is the source of the whatnot.
Okay.
The whatnot.
There's a lot going on here, and I don't think I understand all of it. But did they? I don't think they meant to leave the reactor on. It sounds to me like they couldn't figure out how to shut it off. They forced it on, and then they had to leave for their own safety.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would come back and turn it on again.
That's true.
Well, if we manage to deactivate it, then they might come to resume activating it for 10-minute intervals.
That's true.
For whatever confusing and presumably nefarious purposes.
Do we know that they'd have any way of knowing that we shut the reactor off, other than, I mean, I guess just the static would stop. But
We don't know much about what they know.
I don't either.
There's a way to figure that out. They archived the majority of their plan's data inside the main tower. So in theory, if we got rid of the robots or appealed to them, we could access that computer and see what they were planning.
Okay.
Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah.
No, that's better plan than I have.
I'm gratified.
Thank you, robot.
Thank you. Is my name Robot now?
No, it's Spit.
Okay.
Glares at Mistress again.
I don't listen to you directly.
No, well, but just believe me when I say Spit has a nice ring to it.
Okay. It hasn't done me wrong before.
Okay.
Anyway, well, that tower sounds like our best bet, but I mean, are we gonna go make friends with the robots who tried to kill us?
That's kind of the choice, yeah. In theory, from what I can think here, there's an easy way and a hard way. The easy way, I don't feel like it'll be too hard once we're back up to full strength to take these guys down. But that doesn't necessarily put us on good terms with,
And as he kind of gestured outward,
the hundreds and thousands of robots that own this place. Whereas if we do them a solid, we earn ourselves a great ally. But then again, we don't know what that solid is.
I'm scared that if we go fight them, then there's just going to be more and more to fight, and it'll never end.
Yeah.
Well, we have at least a safe house for now, so in theory, we always have a place to retreat to. As long as the little rocket cannon keeps working.
Oh, believe me, I keep it working.
Yeah, I think I liked what
Keeps it
Mistress
fresh.
said earlier. We try to peacefully negotiate, but we know that if it doesn't work,
Like worst case scenario, we just have to commit a genocide. Like it's not that bad.
yeah, exactly.
Is there any situation in which that is not the worst case scenario?
Yeah, we need to reevaluate
I mean, we would die.
what not that bad.
Yeah, I mean
means.
like Legion falling. Worst case scenario.
No,
than
Mistress.
having to
Sure,
commit
sure, sure, sure,
genocide.
Genocide. Genocide would be worse.
Mistress getting demoted. That's a worse case scenario than committing genocide.
Fucking Mistress. God damn it. I hate it so
Also,
much.
they're robots. Robots
Yeah.
can always be remade.
Shh, don't say that.
Yeah, so can humans.
I mean,
That's
sure.
You can always make more humans.
But I can download a robot's memory onto a computer and then reload it into another body. Can't necessarily do that with my own consciousness.
I don't know. You haven't seen
Do we know that
Mistress's
for
lab.
Ember doesn't know about that.
Yes.
If that's a thing.
I've seen her lab. She might actually be
Yeah.
able to do that.
Let's save the philosophy questions for later.
Well,
Go talk to some robots.
So maybe there's three options. Yeah, we could sneak by, take some people out, or we can make some friends.
I need to pee.
I'd say let's try to make friends first, kill if we have to.
And if killing fails, then we try to sneak away.
If
I
killing
like it.
fails, then we got Little Harpoon Man.
Exactly.
Harping.
I doubt this is more for utility use, but I guess I can kill a thing.
No, I mean like you can get us away again.
That too. Well, I can always 30% chance make this catch again.
But also it'd be pretty cool to see you like just fire a harpoon straight through the body of some robot.
What?
That would be pretty brutal.
It would be pretty cool.
But in theory, if I hit one of their super cores inside of them, it would cause a mass cataclysmic reaction that would kill everybody in the building.
Well, now hold on. That may
Let's
be a
try
new
that.
idea.
Step 1, send in spit.
No.
Step 2,
But that's just a theory.
cataclysmic
That's
reaction.
how my technology works. I'm basically a ticking time bomb.
Step 3, question marks. Step 4, profit.
Plan A, send in spit to cause a cataclysmic explosion. Plan B, send in hostile with the fun button to create a cataclysmic explosion.
Step 4, crying nickel. If not, all else fails.
Yeah, plan C, send in Ember to create a cataclysmic explosion.
Just every plan is just sending it
Yeah.
someone else to do it.
Except for.
And then Mistress is left and she's like, going back to the capital city.
I don't know, I think sending the evocation wizard to cause an explosion seems pretty reliable.
That's fair.
You all don't mind if we, I'm throwing this out here, because this is my first time seeing an actual battle with all of you. We did well, and I'm kind of interested that I saw what you all can do, but I don't think we're all quite the team we need to be yet.
Are you indicating we do a training montage?
I'm indicating we might need to spend a little bit of time here, recover our wounds, and at least collaborate. If I'm going to use some of my best experience, I can at least give you a few pointers on where you all went wrong during that fight. Not that you guys necessarily did anything wrong, it's just the greatest thing about losing is that you learn, and, well,
I
I'd
don't think
rather
we
not walk
lost.
away with nothing just because we won.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
So mechanically, just like he's saying, we should take a long rest.
To the sword. He's like, he's offering is like, if you guys want to hunker down here, we seem to be safe for the time being. I'd be willing to assess some things from everybody here, and we can hopefully see if we can
He's going to
move
critique
forward
our
as a
fight.
team like that.
So training montage.
I think we should begin with some
It's the
Legion-approved team-building exercises.
I will
Yes!
not do any
Time
trust
for
falls
trust
with you.
falls,
I will not do
everyone.
trust falls
Let's
with you,
do it.
Mistress. Stop asking.
Mistress just stands next to the edge of the building. Just,
Yeah.
come on. Oh, I missed.
Come on, hostile.
My weak arms.
During this
My
time,
weak
yeah,
wizard arms.
essentially spending the evening here, kind of explaining your abilities and your specialties to Glorious here, who has only ever seen you as bar-goers the first time you had fought before, and just random accomplices, but to now actually people he is relying on, and people he is, in his mind, looking after. And so to this extent, he's sitting here and has kind of upgraded himself to more back to a commanding lead here, and it's really showing to this time here. You see a haziness over him, but he's desperately trying to overcome this folly here for the benefit of everybody here. And during this time he's explaining,
I noticed everybody here is branching off into their own paths. That's something the Legion is very keen on. That's something that's made us so special today. That's why we have Argers that are so powerful and feared by other adversaries on the other side of the planet, is that we're not afraid to specialize. We're not afraid to abandon paths that don't serve us anything. The farther we spread out our net, well, the less strong it is when we catch something big. I don't know if that's a great analogy, but I hopefully get the point across that what, at least during while I was instated, was the further we specialized, the further we were looked after, appointed for success. That's one of the reasons I got to my point in the office. Not that it's done me any good now, but I'd like to see at least at this point everybody's had some fights behind them here, a little bit of specialization. If I could ask from everybody here, where you all have thought about going in that route?
he first looks over to Ma and he's like,
What do you want to specialize in? You don't have to necessarily answer now, it's just something to think about, because the time will come where you wish you did.
Okay. I mean, I guess I haven't thought about it that much.
Well, you have a lot of abilities similar to me. You stray on the offensive end while carry tactical support and medical healing as well. That's not necessarily bad, but what if you could develop something that was your own?
are you leaving, Dante?
No.
Oh.
So I bruised my toe bone a couple weeks ago, and it hurts
Oh,
if I sit
shit.
for too long.
His
so
ass!
I'm just.
Oh, did you not
standing.
bring your cushions?
No.
That's like a pain in the ass.
And I was like, I don't have the donut cushion.
Yeah, Jordan had the donut cushion.
Like, what if there was ability that only you could do?
Like, for instance, what if there was a song that Melody played that did something that none other songs would do and someone else played it?
So not Wonderwall?
A special...
There's other songs.
Mistress, I haven't known you long, but you're a part of the summoning class, correct?
Absolutely. I
Are you
dabble
content?
in domination.
Are you content with the...
Shut up.
Are you content with the creatures that you summoned so far, or do you strive for something further?
I absolutely strive for something more powerful.
This mistress hot right now.
So terrifying.
I know, I'm super turned on.
No, Mistress.
Well, like Mistress also has enchantment spells like command and suggestion.
Yes, she does.
Mistress upsets me because she's just channeled her Domteak into being a summoner.
So?
It's like,
Hostile! You focused a lot on a more of a rudimentary or a newer practice that has been developed in these past ages here. Perhaps you have something that hasn't been seen by very many others that could be perfected. Do you
Yeah.
think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something that I've been working on over the last couple weeks. It's still pretty basic, but
Would you mind showing us?
is there anything around that I could do my ability with?
ooh, me.
I do like to test all my stuff on Mod.
What about Mod?
I
I
want
know
help.
it'd have to be something like electronic or like technology based. Like
I
a
mean,
machine.
his
I
arm.
want to help.
I guess I could try to mess with his arm.
I feel like that would be pretty disastrous because this is a super sophisticated piece of tech.
Maybe you could use it on spit.
Arm spit.
But not like a
Um,
bad thing.
He's already a familiar.
Does anyone have like a lock or manacles or anything like that?
Mistress for sure
Just
has
look at Mistress.
manacles. Are you kidding me?
Not that she
Side-eye.
carries on her person.
They're still attached to the bed.
Can I
bedpost
can I
of
look
the
around and
person.
see if there's anything that I could use my ability on?
This container
What a
is.
trippin'
Well,
net.
make an investigation check.
Hey, that's gonna be pretty good.
Maybe you just need to be standing every time you roll.
14. 19. Sorry.
You wander into the other room and you see a series of different crates and whatnot that have kind of been brought in here to institute foundation and furnishing for whatever this building room would have been in the future here. And
Okay.
sure enough, you find in here a series of locks and whatnot.
Okay, I'll grab one
Okay.
and bring it in and close my eyes. Well, no, I have to look at it. I'll like
Yeah, yeah.
set it on the ground, kind of put my hands around it, and try and use my ability to
Roll an
like
Arcana
unlock
check
it.
for that.
Okay.
It should be fairly easy to do it, but just in case you're rolling that one.
Because I believe that's also one of my learned things is locks.
Yeah, it is. So that's it should be very
lower.
easy.
Yeah, 22.
Yeah, just like that, you look over at it, all of a sudden, it opens and closes without any key mechanism inside of it over and over again. I haven't seen anything like that before. That's incredible. When did you learn that?
I mean, over the past, like I said, over the past couple weeks, I've kind of.
Like, that doesn't cost you spells every time you use it?
I
Because
can
you're
only
opening
do
like
it a couple
14 times right now. Well, like, in a row, in theory, that would...
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is pretty interesting.
I found other people that have this ability, but like more advanced, and I've learned some stuff from them. But
And then what about you, Ember? Is there something you're working on, trying to specialize, make your own?
I've had thoughts, but I haven't.
Well, let it loose. We're a group of friends, and if we can help you fix things, I'd be more than happy to help.
I've thought about expanding on my mage armor spell
Really?
to sort of expand outside of myself.
Well, mage armor has been sort of in the last several decades series of improvements. It's actually a fairly new and unpolished product. The issue that a lot of the higher ups in our line of work have had with mage armor is that they've optimized it to the point where they've tied all their knots off and are having a hard time building on it without unraveling it. But it's absolutely always felt to me, and at this point, as Glorious is thinking on this subject here, you see something strange about him, Ember. Make a perception check.
$14.
You see, and it's just because you were like directly, like he's like directly in front of you and kind of having this train of thought from here, you can just slightly see in like the whites of his eyes here that they shine just a little brighter just for a second as this happens. Like something washes over him as he's saying this, and it's barely visible in his eyes, as almost kind of like a glare glint off of his eyes. And then his eyebrows raise up, and it's like, well, I'm sure we can expand on that, no problem.
Yeah.
But then again, it would take some time if you're willing to work on it.
Yeah.
And then we have Indy, who already has something I've never seen before.
Yeah. She's
What's
got a
that
really
owl
nice
of
butt.
yours' name?
Oh, right. Sanctuary.
Where is it?
Sanctuary.
Lands on
Bird.
That's not how familiars work. I'll tell you that right now. I've never seen a familiar work this lucidly, this fluidly. That's not a familiar, is it?
No, it's my
You've
best
worked that
friend.
into something else, haven't you? We already have a genius on our hands here. And so, oh Lord, if you were to try out for the Arger exams, I'm sure you'd pass no problem.
What?
Dope.
But then again, we all have that ability to expand. Maybe while we rest up here, I can at least help enlighten you all to that.
And during your long rest here, you go to level 8.
Hey.
Whoa.
Ember,
Thanks, Glorious.
Yeah.
as a majority of the
For some
group here is
reason I didn't.
conversing
I
and
thought we were
kind of
level 6. And I was just
experimenting with our abilities here. Level 8 is an ASI, so there's not anything too intuitive you gotta do. But Glorious does come up to you during this point here. It's like,
You don't mind if I see that book of yours, do you? I've kind of been wanting to re-look over the glyphs that made up mage armor.
My spellbook?
Yeah! I don't know it myself, so I figured if you could show me yours, that would help me give you some tips and whatnot to go off of.
Okay. Can I roll insight on him?
yeah.
I'm nervous about that glint in his eye.
He's feeling spicy. Hi, baby.
Cool.
He's-
That's a 5. Holy shit, with these
He
guys.
seems helpful. Oh, hard to read other than that. Glorious is kind of clouded these past few days.
Okay.
So he sits down with you and he's like, and you bring it out to him here, and he flips over to the page here. And at this point,
It's kind of like with a phone. Where it's like
yeah. So he scrolls over to the area on this tablet here, and at this point he scrolls over to the spell that you have for Mage Armor here, and his face kind of twists a little bit as he looks on it here. It's like,
That's strange.
he brings the tablet to face you during this time period here, and you notice it well. This isn't the same glyph that you initially marked Mage Armor as. It's altered slightly.
Is that me?
Like, let's say each spell in the book represents a symbol, like a sigil, a series of marks and whatnot that represents the spell and its ability to be cast. It's not the same as when you originally inscribed it in here. It's hollowed. It looks like there's room for something to be put in there.
Ooh.
And Glorious is sitting here like,
I've never seen a spell written like this before. Where did you get this?
Always.
Not the book, just like where did you learn the spell from? Like this is honestly like it's been pulled back to its roots.
I've always known this spell. I mean, I would assume it's like her mentor or something.
yeah,
That she
whoever
learned
taught
the
you
magic
back
from.
then.
Well, there's the thing, because most of these spells, since they're so confined, as a wizard does them in these tablets,
You just hit your foot.
I was like, whoa.
it often leaves at times very hard to do any addition to it here. The way the spell is written in your book right now, it looks like you could fit an entire another glyph inside of it.
Oh.
It would overlap, of course, but... You want to try?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
How do you know about glyphs?
There's
so
another
much?
bardic inspiration.
Well, I studied as a frontliner for about a couple decades or so. The foundations of learned spells, like from wizardry, only it's essentially like a gen ed to me. Although I never specifically specified in it, or specialized in it. It's general knowledge. Okay. So with that in mind, if you could add something to this, what would you add? It doesn't have to be a spell, it could be something smaller, like a concept, or an element, or a I don't know, somewhere to work off of, like an improvement.
Probably just the I would say just to expand like off of myself.
What would your expansion of yourself be? Like,
Well, like my
let's not just say we can make it stronger. What if we could make it like, better? What if it doesn't have to be just a magical shield? What if we could incorporate something else into the shield itself? Because as what I'm seeing right here, this is essentially like a blank page that's waiting for a text on it. Could we write something down on there? Let's try it out.
Okay. I'm honestly at a loss right now.
What would Ember want to add on to her mage
Well,
armor?
like she'd want to like also maybe try to. Okay, maybe one thing we could do that I've thought about before is like adding like projectiles or something
Okay.
to come off of it. But also like what I was mainly thinking was like protecting others on top of herself.
You also hear as Glorious is spitballing here, and this is another situation where his eyes kind of seem to glint as he's
Kyle,
talking
can you
here.
move your head back just a little bit? I can't
Yeah,
see.
okay.
And his eyes
Sorry.
You're
kind of
okay.
glint as he's talking about this here. He's like,
Maybe I'd be a little on the nose here. Your name's Ember. What if we added fire to this?
Just as like a buff or something.
Who knows? That doesn't necessarily seem like a smart thing to cover yourself with, but I mean,
Fire doesn't bother me.
if it was a successful implication, who knows? Maybe your armor could be more of a weapon than a defense.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
You're lucky you're working with a man of many talents here.
he brings the book over here, and you give him permission. At this point, he draws within the lines of the spell here. The lines, this spell that is essentially like widened itself and opened itself to many different holes and ports and places in which inscriptions could be laid. Glorious carefully and methodically puts in, through his years of experience here, his essentially knowledge of the sigil that would emulate fire. And as it finishes up here, he hands the book back to you.
Let's try it out.
Before I go to bed,
Yeah, why not? You got any spells left?
I was gonna say before I. Let's see.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah, I did use my feature, so I do.
You also have that spell refueling.
I forget about that. How does that work? I just like put it in
You
the range.
you just use an action and then you can recover up to a 3rd level.
Okay. Well, mage armor's only a 1, so. Okay.
okay. So it's during this time here, you and Glorious are sitting here back to back through different trial and errors here. You begin to activate this spell here, and something different occurs because you've altered your spell like modularly within itself. And as you spawn it here, it seems like only half of the spell is kind of conjuring itself in and on, and it seems like it's circulating upward here. And Glorious is landing blows on you here that seem to be going straight through the mage armor. It fails. You use up a 1st level spell slot. You try again. It spawns again in a different way, and does it in a way where it's folding in on itself and it's colliding with your skin. It's hard to move, and you can't control it as well. And Glorious's hits are connecting with you as well, and it eventually shatters altogether here. You use your last level 1 spell slot, and Glorious is sitting here is like,
We're using 2 spells here. Let's up the ante. Do you have anything stronger?
I have a level 2 if we want to try level 2. I have up to level 4, I think.
you
Should I
cast a
just
level.
use-
You cast a level 2.
Let's do a 3.
Okay. You cast your mage armor at level 3 using the new glyphs here, and suddenly all of the holes that were there before from your spell that normally would be easily cast this level fill in and begin this wavy pattern that isn't the solid outline of the armor that it was before. It still feels super unstable during this time period, and it feels like it's definitely going to fail. But sure enough, Glorious is trying to strike you here, and it's cutting through the armor here, and it's hurting you through multiple areas. And Glorious, at this point, puts his sword through your body.
Oh shit.
And where it enters through you is a blaze of flames that cuts through, and the other end of the sword is sticking out through your spine, where flames enter from that end, but it doesn't touch your body. You see through the ripples of the blade refracting around and going through you at this point. And Glorious' sword shatters like glass as he pulls it out. And just like that, it goes from blue to this outrageous field of red that wrecks your body here. You feel this burning hot sensation coating your body here and crispening your skin, and you feel blisters form all over you, when all of a sudden the spell cuts off all at once. And you take 15 points of damage as the flames die out during this time. And you're covered in like these flame marks and whatnot of essentially just a catalyst from his weapon attacks that triggered something. I have spell information to send you.
Nice.
Sorry about your sword.
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
That was awesome. I went right through you on that one. Well, shoot, I don't need that anymore.
And it's during this time here, you, as Glorious walks away and begins to help other people here.
I would run up and give him a hug.
You
before he
do?
walks away.
And as you kind of catch him off guard, this kind of bestial man just kind of gives this awkward, oh,
There. All in a day's
Why
work.
is it so awkward?
As Glorious walks away, you hear, just kind of silently as you think to yourself, every action has its consequence. That thought echoes through you as the night goes on, and you're able to go to bed. Is there anything else anybody
Are
else
you
here?
able to get sleep? Yeah.
Anybody else here wants to do before they go to bed for the evening? Oh, I'd like to think
Do you guys want me to turn off my coin?
Yes.
Smells like I can't smell it, but I bet it's pretty good.
Okay, I turn off the coin and then, using my dark vision, I make it smell like a corn dog and look up my melody.
Melody's facing away from you.
That's not how your nose works.
It's not how noses work.
Hostel sneaks over and looks over. Just looks at Melody's face with the corn dog coin.
Can I tell he's that close? Like hovering right over me in the dark?
Are you asleep?
Oh.
Yeah, you probably can't. Oh, no, you're done. Make a perception check.
I was gonna say, yeah, make a check for it.
I feel like I would be able to feel his breathing. 16.
You just have a man.
You hear. You smell
Hostile?
You smell cigarettes on his breath.
Hostile, I swear to God.
You just. It's so
Leave me
scary, just
alone.
having a man hovering over you in the dark, breathing hard, smelling like corn dogs and cigarettes.
Did
It does
work?
smell like corn dogs. It smells awesome.
Did what work?
You go for a corn dog.
You just hear Andy go, I'm kind of hungry.
Just turns off the coin and goes to bed.
I hate him.
And Ma's just over on the other side, like she's like dozing, and he goes,
Your phone doesn't work here.
Oh,
Oh, damn it. That's right.
Mom was just over on the other side of the room, like kind of dozing, and sits up in the dark. It's like, does someone smell a dog?
No, but I do think I smell a cookie. He gets switched to a cookie.
Can I ask what food
Oh,
is?
so now that you
It's
now that you mention it,
Crazy. I just move for food.
Does he be
I
moving
mean,
at all
technically that
times?
is how he works.
Yeah, well, if he stops moving, he falls asleep, essentially.
Oh, that's what my stepdad
So
is.
if he like were to fall, so if he were to fall asleep, wouldn't we just have to go like give him a little push and he'd wake up?
No, in theory, he just doesn't just completely run out of energy. He just goes into like power saving mode. Like he has reserves. Like
Yeah.
he can use himself to move forward a
Goes
bit.
into standby.
Yeah.
So does entropy just not apply to him then?
What do you
Basically,
mean?
he's basically like a perfect source of like limitless energy.
At the cost of the parts that he has in him, you assume that he would have to change stuff out occasionally for the kinetic generator to continue being able to produce electrons efficiently. But, I mean, as long as he keeps up on himself, he's in a place of limitless tech, so he's probably been able to sustain himself that way.
I'm so glad we're going to take him away from a
Also-
place where he's been able to take care of himself for hundreds of years.
Also, I assume that while we rest, we probably eat because we did bring provisions.
Yeah.
Mod's gotten in corn nuts, I think.
Corn
I
nuts.
can't remember what I got. Probably corn nuts.
Corn nuts
I've got
are good.
banana bread.
Andrew,
No, not
when are we
banana
gonna be
bread.
smart again?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, the bread from
Fix this
Cadbury's.
issue. Maybe
I'm tired
you'll
of
be
being a
smarter.
fucking idiot.
Magic
I literally
bread.
have the condition on here, and it says the voice is gospel. And when you click it, it says, "Yeah, I failed the wisdom save."
Alright.
Effects
I
intelligence.
mean, for
by
Mod, it's
7.
kind of nice because he doesn't have to worry about, or rather, he doesn't know to worry as much about the threat of nameless, and it's just kind of just
It's
go.
nice, they're able to get you to sleep there.
Exactly.
Unless
yeah.
one of your friends is nameless. That would
No,
suck.
Mod's not thinking about that. Mod's
Oh.
too stupid to think about that right now.
Mod's
Okay.
thinking about fucking cookies, obviously.
Alright.
And corn dogs.
Yeah.
Going to
No
bed
thoughts,
for the
only
evening.
cookie.
You all are able to find some solace in knowing at least you have a whole lot more information on what's going on than before and a way to gain more of it. A foothold in how to stop this, if you will. And all that lies before you is the future and what happens tomorrow. And you're able to find yourself to sleep to that extent.
Oh, shit.
Shut up, Oz.
I wonder what's the green light
Nudge
mean.
you.
Indy,
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
you wake up in your bed.
Oh God.
And not just your room bed, but the custom bed of the new home that you and Sanctuary assembled
So close.
just the other day. You're... Oh shit. I fucked up. You're in this headspace sanctuary area that you guys have created. And sure enough, your monstrous friend is awake in a bed on the opposite end of you as well, and stretches upward. As she stands up, she waves her hand, the bed disappears.
So I just like fall on my.
No, not your bed, her bed.
Oh, I was like, ow.
Rise and shine! We got a lot of partying to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking today we make something with a little less walls and a little more vertically enhanced. Let's see. And as she raises her arms up, the ceiling expands to 10 times its height. Like you're looking all the way up to the top of a skyscraper here. She waves her hands here, and these spider webs of bridges kind of collide across here, and these ladders fall down here, and she's able to scurry up. It's like, we can do whatever we want here. What do you want? Because I'm thinking of circus right now. I'm
Ooh,
going
that's
trapezing.
Let's say I want to climb.
Well, then go ahead. And just like that, a ladder falls down as you say, I want to climb.
I start climbing.
And sure enough, you begin to climb up this series of ropes and whatnot that are out above this area here, and you guys balance on this kind of rope. Shit! This rope bridge that you guys create yourselves here, and you guys are sitting next to each other, and you guys talk for a long amount of time. It seems like hours, and you guys get to know each other, and you realize this person that shares your voice and used to share your visage and whatnot is a completely different person. Sanctuary's been around for a long time, and she has lived multiple lives.
Oh shit.
She has seen, she's rested, woken up, and seen a completely different age. And it's hard for her to explain and understand why this is happening. But all she knows is that she's here and she's sharing the space with you, and now you guys are closer than ever after your last exchange. Well, it's getting to the point where I think we are to be expecting guests soon. Is there any other changes to this place you want to make before we start seeing people?
always wanted a big ass chandelier.
Chandelier? You want, what color lights you want?
Ooh, pink.
Do you have any specific age you want, or you just want to make our own age here?
Yeah.
Like, we don't need a gothic chandelier. We
Make
need
shit up.
we need a freaking new age drunken ass chandelier.
You're right, yeah.
And it's like a chocolate fountain, but with whiskey.
What?
It rains down on us, and we just run around naked in it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that part, but
All that.
I'll do it. And sure enough, wait, you tried this time.
Me?
Yeah, you're just as good at it as I am.
I like snap my finger.
Sure enough, at least to your ability to conjure up something like this chandelier appears, and the trapeze lowers you guys down, and you see this thing spinning here, and there's just this shower of this toxic liquid falling onto the ground here, and just kind of pooling up in this drain. It's like, oh, and then it starts draining out in the middle, so it doesn't like just flood you guys eventually here.
Yeah, that would be traumatic again.
Whiskey pool.
And then sure enough, as a little bit of time comes here, you see someone else in the room with you as well. There's a figure sitting over on the couch on one side of the room. This figure with the hollowed out eyes that you would know at this point as Silence is sitting on the couch, quietly looking down as though he's been summoned here and has no idea why he keeps being summoned here, and looks down at the ground here. On the other edge, you see a stone tree that is contorted and twisted and has perpetual sad gaze about it here as it stares agape into the sky, and its fingers just kind of dance in the staleness of the air around it. And these are the only two guests at this moment here, and you and Sanctuary have a great time. And then Sanctuary's mood changes as the editings of the room and the conversations with the two non-very conversing folk around you progress. Sanctuary faces you here. He's like, I think I might be trapped here.
Why do you say that?
Because when you're awake, I can't move.
Oh, shit. Alright, let's
Because
sleep
until
and
I'm
do this shit.
summoned through an owl, I can't see.
That's gotta be scary.
It would be scary if I could think. It's just nothing. But I mean, I guess it's better than hiding from the storm like we always had during this time. Sure enough, you've always been able to hear there's just this quiet, raging wind from outside the walls. But I'm not scared for me. I'm scared for you.
Why?
Aren't you tired of running?
I haven't really thought about it. When I'm awake, I have all my buddies.
I know. And I would do anything for them too, believe me, but after all this time, you've still not gained anything from what you've had to pay. None of this friendship means anything if it doesn't mean we get a second of peace from having to worry about death, to worry about being in prison in some bedroom. And all I can think about is what I can do for you. But I can't do anything to save you. All I can do is give you what I have. That's the only thing I can do for you. And I can't promise doing that won't be costly for any of us. If I give you everything I have, who knows how long I'll stay here, and who knows how long you'll react to it. I've only spent a few nights with you, but it's like I have a sister.
Get that? I feel that. What do you mean, give me what you have?
Do you remember the last time I shared with you something that was me? It made you stronger, but more distant. And I was able to move around here and be free. and I love it. I'm able to breathe again and think again and dream again. As, once again, she clears away the trapeze stuff from above. But none of that's gonna keep me from being a prisoner. She looks over at you. You know you're my way out, right?
I do, but I don't know how.
I do.
Tell me.
I have more to give you. More of myself that I can give you. The more powers that I give to you, the more distant we become from all the issues that you're suffering from. The people that are tracking you guys down to kill you, your parents, everything. And that's all I can do is give you what I have and push you away from it all. But until that happens, I'm stuck here.
Well,
And
then
it really sucks.
let's do it then. I don't want you to be stuck.
Do you have any idea what that might do to you?
No.
Do you care at all about yourself? Why? Why would you not?
I mean, you said it. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of not really knowing what all this was for.
If I were to give you everything I have, there's no telling what you might be like afterwards. But I could tell you this. We'd be together. We'd be one. And if we were one, there's not a damn person that could stop us. You know that, right?
Makes me nervous, but I also like the sound of that.
You don't have to be nervous of me. I'm on your side.
I believe that.
If I had a reason to lie about that at this point, well, I'm only as good of a liar as you are.
Fair.
So, you would do that for me? You'd let me see the world a little bit longer? As she does this, she holds her hand out towards you, and you feel the air in the room stiffen, and the air sterilize and become cold and lifeless as this sort of visage that's around here begins to kind of flicker. What do you do?
I take her hand.
As you're reaching for the hand here, and this whole conversation has been ensuing during this time period, it has been very hard to ignore because you've wanted to participate in this conversation, the sound of the storm increasing. The walls had always blanketed the cacophony, but for now you hear as your hands almost reach here, it's at a screeching roar. As all of a sudden, it goes quiet in an instant. The door to the establishment opens up.
I look at it.
A figure flings the door open here, and as the door flies all the way open, it folds away into nothingness. It fractalizes into many shapes that disintegrate right after she touches it. And the figure moves into the room. This figure with this black onyx crystalline hair that folds over her ears and goes all the way down her back. This sheer, almost translucent skin with these dark green eyes and this blank expression. The adornments she wears during this time are this deep, dark purple, what can only be assumed as cultist robing, like a very thin bathrobe. As the figure walks in towards you, as she takes a step onto the ground here, the places where her feet touch the ground blacken and begin to spread outwards here. Not like it's spreading an ooze, but like the area she touches is destroying itself. As she moves forward at this point, slowly, methodically, every step perfectly positioned out from each other here. And she enters the center of the room here, and she stares at you too, and you see, look over at Sanctuary here, her face is that of shock and fear. The figure begins to speak during this time period, and is only able to get a couple words out before the following events ensue. So you finally decided to let me in. Thank you. It's at this moment the door frame where she had came in from before blasts open as a figure entirely clad in this thick metallic iron, a suit of armor that you had been choked out from before, bursts in through the door at this point and goes in straight to Nelson, the figure here, pulls her up and lifts her off. The figure that's twice the size of her body lifts her in the air. Silence gets up from the couch at this point. His hand goes forward here, and a blast of green waves pop from his hands here. It's like, it's time, brothers! As he rushes forward here, her figure stops, but before the green waves get to her here, you see the armored figure behind blast to thousands of pieces that begin to fade and float and shatter away into this dark abyss here at this point. But at this point, after the figure explodes, Silence gets right up to her face with the rave here. The figure holds her hands out where a pair of four rhombus-like green waves begin to appear here that would project outwards, but as Silence gets up, these figures dissipate into nothingness as Silence dampens her powers and gets up here. It's like, you will do no harm in this house. But at this point, the figure, within only a fraction of a second, is a millimeter in front of his face here, and he's like, I know you. You're one of my brothers. And her whole body melds through his and walks through him like walking through like a sheet of water. And as this happens, Silence begins to convulse violently, and the waves that were echoing from his hands during this time here begin to cease. And as she passes through the other side here, she turns, holds the rhombuses up to him here, and Silence shatters to thousands of pieces.
Holy shit.
And fades into nowhere. At this point, Sanctuary turns to you and says, we gotta go now. And at this point, 1,000 walls branch up between you and the figure that before, and the walls that were behind you explode into this large cylindrical tunnel as she essentially scoops you off her feet, this figure that's bigger than you, and begins to carry you down this expanse here. And as she runs and runs, and her mind is able to conform to these different images of her escape period during this time, the tunnel begins to swerve back and forth until it becomes more of a slide that essentially takes you guys down, and you guys slide down during this time. All the while, the sound of the storm that's ensuing at this point is buffeting the edges of it. You feel the walls blast open, splinters rain across your skin during this point, cover you in this horrible mist that the storm is bringing on here. It's a mix of the blood from the splinters and the moisture from this void storm that's coming from outwards. You look behind you, and the tunnel that you guys are sliding down is continuously being devoured by a wave of waves that's cutting in every direction. And as this is happening, more and more walls are being summoned up behind by Sanctuary as she's pushing further into this black space that you guys are trying to escape from. You guys get to a point where the slide ends and more walls pop up. You guys open door after door, creating room after room. Your Sanctuary expands and creating, and the more you guys run, the more it's destroyed and eaten alive here. Until eventually, you guys get to the point where Sanctuary holds out her hand to make another wall appear. Nothing happens.
Oh no.
Only half the wall appears before it crumbles into dust.
Oh,
This
shit.
energy that she has here is feigned. Her powers are limited, and it's showing here. She's only a fraction of what she could be. And as this happens here, you can hear her out of breath here. The dampness of this figure, this monstrous beast that you're holding around her here is beginning to be very pertinent. And then sure enough, she gets to the point where she stops. You're far enough away from the noise here. It's like, you can't be captured by her. If she gets a hold of you, it's over. She'll destroy you in an instant, and who knows what will happen to you once you get out there.
So should I keep running? And trying to make walls?
There's no point in running. As the final wall behind slowly begins to peel apart like a burning sheet of paper, and this figure slowly walks through as though they were never moving beyond this pace in the first place. And Sanctuary is holding you down here, puts you down at this point, and is standing between you and the figure that's walking forward at this point. And the figure walks forward. It's not the damn song I'm gonna play.
That's spooky.
The figure walks forward during this time, and it's like, so, you would not invite me into your home? That's no way to treat a guest that you invited to this wretched plane.
What?
Your friends that you sent at me, I recognize them. Silence and Fortitude. They're my brothers. But nonetheless, traitors. You won't be seeing them again, I'm afraid.
Well, you think you just shattered
And
them.
at this point, she holds her arm out forward here, and this massive windstorm blows Sanctuary out of the way from you here, and all of a sudden it's just the two of you between each other here, and the figure steps forward, closer and closer, 5 feet, 3 feet, right in front of your face. So, you're the cause of this place.
I guess. Isn't it just my brain?
This world is more than you think of. You have to be shown your place along our brothers and sisters. Are you a friend of silence and fortitude?
I don't know if friend is the word I would use, but we're cool.
It's at this point, instantly, a hand grips your neck. It's the softest tissues, but you feel the grip would never release, no matter how far you pulled across from it here. She holds you here. It's like, then, you are a traitor. And traitors deserve to sleep.
Oh, fuck me.
And at this point, you feel this horrible black and green energy begin to radiate in your throat here. Your breath begins to cease when out of nowhere, a massive pillar, like a column from a stadium, takes the figure out as it flies through the ether here and blasts the figure off, flying through the ethereal storm. The Sanctuary, who is battered and wounded, walks up to here. I can't control my own world here. We're going to die. If I'm going to give you my powers, it has to be now. Before she takes you. Please.
Okay.
And at this point, the figure in the distance is floating up ahead and heading towards you at this unreal speed. Sanctuary holds her hands out. What do you do?
I grab it.
She grabs your hand. It's at this moment now where the two of you simultaneously and against your control turn to face her. And with the same breath, the same voice, the same exact train of words, the two of you scream, "And intruders deserve to leave!" And the visage that heads towards you shatters into dust. And you guys are surrounded by a bedroom once again. instantly. You don't even see the walls form at this point. And
That was fucking scary.
as she's holding her hands here, she takes a long breath and sighs outwards here. And you see her form begin to glow as she empowers. And she looks over down at you and begins, her eyes overflow with tears. I'm so sorry. But because this is the end of you.
Oh, good. What?
I tricked you.
Great.
This body that we have right now, after this is done, I'm afraid it'll just be me and the memories I carried of you during this time. But it doesn't have to all be bad. I remember everything, your entire life. The decades you've lived, the memories you've created, the friends that you've shared with me. I'll make it up to you. I'll fix this mess for you, okay? I'll tell your friends that things were okay, and I'll fix this.
What the fuck?
And as you turn around, you look down, and your feet are no longer there. The tips of your fingers are gone. And the figure that's standing in front of you becomes less monstrous. And you see as these tears pour down her face, it's no longer the face of a monster that stares at you, it's the face of yourself that's holding your face and nothing else. Because nothing else exists in this time. She pulls you into a hug, whatever's left of you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll make this up for you, okay? I'll make this. I'll make this.
Stupid bitch.
In the morning, you all have a long rest. You awaken. What's everybody doing?
Well, I'll turn on my coin again so that we actually have light.
I got excited. I thought you said you were going to turn on your coin and make corn dogs smell again.
Make it to where everyone wakes up to like the smell of waffles.
Guys, I'm making bacon.
Ooh, did somebody say bacon?
How?
As Indy says.
What?
From
Does
her.
it still sound like her?
It does.
Oh, freaky.
Yeah, definitely. We got
Hustle,
bacon right
can you
here.
really make bacon?
Yeah, see, can't you smell it?
I fucking hate you.
Now you grab another coin and I make it emit a sizzling sound.
Like, I kind of wish that some horrible cosmic being would come and just zap you off this planet.
That'd be pretty crazy, wouldn't it?
I feel like my whole life I've totally misunderstood the concept of food. What is happening?
What? There's bacon. Can't you smell it and hear it?
What?
Yeah, but where bacon?
It's,
Where bacon?
check your pockets.
Mod excitedly checks his pocket.
As soon as you put them in, I deactivate the coins. Put it in my pocket again.
So I assume none of us are getting breakfast then. Wow. Okay.
Well, don't worry. We'll have all the breakfast in the world once we save it.
I think that's a swell idea. Saving the world's outside my parameters, but I'll do it.
Do you know what breakfast is?
I think it's like moving, but like with flavor.
Huh.
Well, that's true.
That's profound.
And so,
It's just
as you
accurate.
guys awaken and plan your next course of action towards confronting them again with, unbeknownst to you all, a different figure amongst you.
I was gonna say there wouldn't really be any reason for us to do like an insight
Right,
check
no.
on her.
No, it's,
Nothing she said so far seems sus.
we'll end the session there.
Oh shit.
The moment we go to a bar and she doesn't start chugging.
Sorry.
Andrew, from like a scale of 1 to 10, how unsleepable is our bed?
Have you not seen it yet?